Say it with me. It is a football Monday. Big Sills here. We appreciate each and every single one of you folks coming here like you always do. And by the way, Joe Kraus, thank you very much for the great information on the numbers of the program, which are exploding. And by the way, the numbers that we did, you want to hear this? We weren't even in football season yet. Woo! Wait until the end of the year. Fantastic, guys. You keep it up. You keep posting away, and you're driving the show. Get this. IP and 97.5 digitally, you're behind Big Sills and Xander and Jacob. How you doing? How you doing? This is how halftime went. Petula, sit the fuck down. I'm calling the shots. We're going to get into that here in a minute, all right? And what has to be the worst first half of football I've seen the Philadelphia Eagles play since I started covering your football team. That was the absolute worst. The worst. Okay? The worst football performance I had ever seen a pro football team that was the reigning champions ever go out there and just slop around in the first half. It was pathetic. Then there was an epiphany. Players got pissed off. Fuck this. What are we doing? And get this, just like you did a year ago, when you were forced into running the football, you made a change. And then you started throwing the football. You're never going to be a consistent passing team. You're just not going to be. He's never been, except for a little bit in 22. He's never going to be. That's not what he's going to be. However, he's going to do whatever it takes to win. And it was a great win, 33-26. They came back to win when they were just completely getting dominated. Let's put it out here, too. The Eagles played 2 quarters of football. I mean, they have not played a complete game yet this year. So the second half was much better, obviously. But it was because they were behind. There is no doubt. So let me give you some of my takeaways here. Kevin Patillo, as I said, is the worst coordinator in pro football for any contending team in the league. He is the worst. They're winning in spite of him. I heard John say this. Maybe now you guys will look at, no, that's not, I think, what happened. And I'm going to tell you what I think happened. Because A.J. Brown and the quarterback went over there and they started bitching to him. What are you doing, dude? Communication, throwing on time. There is no doubt about it. Players took it into their own hands like they did last year when you had Mulata and Lane go, let's fucking run the ball. Let's fucking run the ball. Okay? Let's throw the ball. I personally think there was a different coordinator that called plays in the second half. And I think that's Jalen Hurts. You're winning football games in spite of your shitty coaching on offense. Vic Fangio is doing a great job. He is doing a fucking great job. Okay? A spectacular job. We'll get into all the numbers here in a second. And I thought Jalen Hurts, that's the best game, or excuse me, I'll take that back. It's a half of football that he played. He was atrocious in the first half. Okay? What's your grade on Hurts through 3 games? C+. But I think he's been held back. He's been held back. Okay? The last 3 games. And I think it's because of the offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator, hey, would this be a conversation for you. That guy puts his game plan together on the analytics of the football team, and that's why you're getting shitty offense and not getting 4 quarters of football. Do you agree? 4 quarters of football, you're not getting it because those players, you're just so talented. Okay? McVay's a good coach with a great quarterback, up 19 points and loses. Hey, guys, you're never going to talk shit on Sean McVay. Whatever you want to fucking say. 4 division titles in 8 years, 2 NFC titles and a Super Bowl, and he's a play caller. Whatever you want to fucking say. Overrated. So you think overrated is 4 division titles in 8 years and 2 NFC titles and a Super Bowl is overrated? How fucking dumb. I'm not debating that. You know what overrated is? Not having a job and calling yourself a head coach. Somebody was calling plays in the second half. By the way, you see this here, McVay? If you think 4 division titles and 2 NFC championships and a Super Bowl is awful, okay, there's no debating, and I'm not going to sit here and debate that. I will say he was conservative. There is no doubt about it. On the road, no question. Kicking field goals was going to come back to haunt him, and it did. But I'm not going to sit here and debate Sean McVay's brilliant record. I'm just not. 2 different quarterbacks he's taken to the Super Bowl too. Not debating it. His record speaks for itself. Okay? His record speaks for itself. Guys, whatever you want to say, it's not true. By the way, speaking of true, thank you, Jalen Hurts. Thank you, A.J. Brown. Thank you very much for validating what I've been saying about your shitty coordinator. They're even saying it. They are even complaining about it. Okay? Eduardo, Sirianni owns McVay. And Todd Bowles owns you. Okay? Seriously, Sills, I'm glad they came out and said it. Me too. Curtis, me too. I am very glad that they came out and finally addressed it. Instead of sitting around and punching around the problem, they came out and basically said, we got a problem here with the play calling. Why is that so hard to say? They have an incompetent coach at offensive coordinator. I don't give a shit. All the people that cover that fucking football team that are afraid to be critical of a coach. You ever notice this? Anybody that's critical of a coach, it won't be anybody covering the team. Name me one coach. Name me one reporter that is critical of Brian Johnson, was critical of Sean Desai, was critical of Nick Sirianni. Nobody. They don't come out and say it. They won't come out and say it. They will not. Because it's a directive from the PR department. You start talking shit on those coaches, they're going to deny you access. They're going to deny you access. That's what they do. Okay. So we got that out of the way. Let's put another one here. My takeaways. The offensive line right now is not playing very well. It's just not playing very well. You had a half of football. You came back, by the way, the 60 minutes, if you're going to fight the Eagles, you've got to play 60 minutes of football. And you've got to fight them for 60 minutes, not 58 minutes, not 59, 50. You've got to fight them tooth and nail because they will not surrender. I thought both wide receivers were great in this football game in the second half. First half, obviously, it was pathetic. -3 yards, total passing offense. Give me a break. The fucking thing stunk. It was horrific. Defensively, the Rams were able to run the football. They gassed you in the first. Actually, if you think about it, the Rams dominated that football game for 3 quarters. 3 quarters of that game was dominated by the Los Angeles Rams. Running the ball, throwing the ball, they were able to pretty much go up and down the field. Again, they weren't able to close it and put it in the end zone. And that means to me, that comes down to third down defense, which Vic was great at yesterday. He was great, okay? Here's the stars of the game. On offense, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Fred Johnson, Devontae Smith. By the way, don't ever put Matt Pryor in a game again. I have not seen Jalen Hurts hit so much in the last 3 games. That guy has been getting his ass kicked. And he's been getting up and playing his ass off. Holy cow, Saquon Barkley is playing terrible football. Terrible football he's playing. On defense, no doubt. Jordan Davis, for the 3 games, has played really well. I saw him a couple years ago in 23 play well. Okay? I mean, and he's gotten out to a really good start. There is no question. He's outplayed Jalen Carter right now. In all aspects. That was a great football game that's the best football game that he's ever played as an Eagle. Was what you saw on Sunday. We'll see. 17, there's 14 more to go. See how this plays out. But that was a great performance by him. I thought Zach Bond played well. You could not set the edge on the Rams. Your edge players were not very good in that game. They were not very good. They were getting on the edge. And the Rams, that's where they attacked. The edge players, Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, and Zadarius Smith did not have good football games. They got knocked off the football, and they were able to get around the corner on them. I thought that the secondary, Q got beat. Reed got taken out of position a few times. But again, they ended up on third down making plays to get them off the field to give their offense an opportunity. They had a big hole to come out of, and they got 3 and outs late in the game. Why do the meatheads of the fan base drag great coaches like McVay and Reed? Because it's just trying to make their guys sound better, and they're not. We should applaud these dudes because it makes the Eagles. That's right. That's right. They diminish the guy they beat when they do that. You get it, Cameron. It's Cameron. You're just going to have to go with it here. That you got to remember something. They'll always tell you their guy's better than anybody else when their guy doesn't really have a job. He's not a play caller. He's not a decision maker with personnel. And if that's his style of play and that's Nick's style, I guarantee you when you play the Buccaneers, you're going to go back to the first half of how you played against the Bucs. You know why? That's what analytics says. And you're 19-1. Do you think a half of football is going to change? Wait a minute. Let me ask you this. Let's do this. How many people in here think a half of football is going to change the way they do business on Sunday against the Bucs? When you're 19-1. How many people say that they're going to go into this Buck game and they're going to change their mentality when you're 19-1? By the way, that's Nick doing that. That first half of football is under Nick Sirianni's umbrella. Nah, right. Well, hey, Sue, we'll have a bet on that they don't go back to doing what they did. We'll do a bet on that. I bet you anything, because this is how they do it. They're not going to all of a sudden fucking change their way of doing it because they had a second half. That's not going to work. They're going to come out running the ball again in the first half against the Buccaneers. Crazy changing direction because of 2 quarters of football. Seals, online is not capable of running no matter what the defense is looking like last year. We have to do a better job of taking that defense and gives us, which means opening it up. They're not going to go down. They are not going to go down that lane again, guys. They are not going to change what they do. They've got to do that. They're not going to do that. Why? Because Kevin Patullo doesn't know a passing game. Why, if he did, why didn't you hire a passing coordinator? The reason you hired Kevin Patullo is because, you know why? You weren't going to change anything. Newsflash. If you were going to change and you were going to have more of a passing game, you would have hired a coordinator that knows how to throw the ball. Not a guy who was there a year ago. Their own actions are telling you what they did. Ask yourself this, guys. If we play the same way against Tampa, it could look like last year. Hold on for a second here. So, what was the reason that you elevated Kevin Patullo? Let's see what somebody says in here. Why did you elevate Kevin Patullo? Okay? Is Barkley playing bad, or is it the O-line? Well, a pen. How about that guy missing that block and almost getting Hurts killed? How about him almost getting Hurts killed? Okay. In-house. Okay. Why did they elevate Nick's butt buddy? Okay. Why did they hire Kevin Patullo? Okay, so if Nick's got control, Scott, so if Nick has control over the offense, isn't this his philosophy on how you approach a game? So that's Nick then, in your opinion. That's Nick, okay? Joe says in-house decision, okay? Why is it familiar? KCA, here it is right here. They're going to continue to do what they did a year ago because of what you just said. Because they're not going to throw the ball. Unless they fire Kevin Patullo, they're going to do the same shit they did to get to 3-0. They're not going to change anything. Why would they? They elevated the guy because they weren't going to change. All of a sudden, Kevin Patullo, who's never been an offensive coordinator, is going to come up with some sort of new scheming way of throwing the football. Since when? What's his track record? He doesn't have one. This guy has no track record of being a passing coordinator. Where? Not in Philly. Continuity's there? Okay. Well, that means you're going to do the same shit then. Okay, you're answering the question. Thanks, RC3. If you think they're going to change, you're fucking high. You're answering your own questions that you guys are having for me. Do you think they'll do something and you think they'll open it up now what they did in the second half? Why? Continuity, in-house, same offense as a year ago, and same approach because it's analytics. Guys, they're not changing anything. They're not changing a fucking thing. They're not changing anything. The same Bucks? What's that? What'd you say? The same? Hey, bro, you've almost lost every fucking football game too this year. So don't talk like that. Like you're playing great ball. You're not. The Eagles aren't playing great ball. Who fucking thinks that? How many people in here in the first 3 games? You tell me. Give me a grade for the Bucks. And not the stupid people in here. People who have some common sense in here. Barkley's struggling without Becton. I think it's more to that. I think it's Landon and I think it's Cam. No. I asked you how you think you're playing in the first 3 fucking games of the year. How do you think you're playing? B-? Absolutely not. Well, then you don't have a high ceiling then. Holy shit. Get this. Watch this. M. Reyes. I want M. Reyes to say this. M. Reyes, how well do you think you're playing in the first A+? So according to him, there's no room for improvement. There's no room for improvement, according to Zime. A+, no room for improvement. This is the best you're going to play then. That's what he's saying. The best that they're playing, M. Reyes, A+. I think you're playing C- football. And you're 3-0. B-, not a lot of room for improvement. C+, C-, that's right. C-, and you're 3-0. M. Reyes and some of you guys in here are telling you they're playing A+ football. That means there's no room for improvement. Shows you how fucking dumb those people are. Okay? They're not playing good football. There you go. Hey, Senor, repost that. He's right on. Bro, if you think you're playing good football and you're giving high grades right now, that means you have a tough season ahead of you. If you think they're not playing good football, then guess what? Okay? You're right. And they got a ton of room for improvement. Every Eagle guy in that building knows that they're probably playing C- football and winning. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. People in here get all fucking butthurt. You know why? Think you're talking shit on somebody. When the players and coaches are all saying it, you're the only ones that don't get it. Remember when we used to pull guards and tackles in the run game? Now it's all inside zone runs. They're less athletic. No, I'll take that back. You're injured. You're not pulling anybody. Okay? Hold on here. And you're here every fucking day. A man is straight arguing with the chat. I'm not arguing. I don't have to argue. Hey, by the way, Benny, you come here for conversation. I don't go to your house. Senor, what did you post? So here again, my takeaway would be that you're playing C- football. You're having spots where you're coming back and winning games. That's the answer. Playing C-, D+ football. And we haven't even, hey, Senor, wouldn't you make this comment? You're not even playing average Eagle football. Because if you did, you'd be blowing teams out playing average football. You're not blowing anybody out. That team should be blowing people out. But there's injuries, bad coaching, decision-making, and again, ask yourself one question. Who's to blame for the offense is stagnant this season so far outside of the 2 quarters against the Rams? Who do you blame? Kevin Patullo or Nick Sirianni? Who do you blame? Hey, by the way, I do want to underscore this, and I do want to make sure you get it. I'm not talking about the 3-0. I'm talking about you winning a Super Bowl here. So some of you want to go and talk about 3-0. No problem. I have no interest in that. I'm talking about a Super Bowl. So you guys can hang your hat on 3-0. I'm going to talk about Super Bowl and what you need to do to win a Super Bowl. Do you think Nick is the problem because it's his offense? He made it clear in that it doesn't matter who the offensive coordinator is. Well, here, let me answer that. Kendron, I heard John McMullen say this today, that this is Nick and his influence on how they're going to approach a game. So Nick Sirianni's the one holding the offense back? How many people think it's Nick holding the offense back? John McMullen said that today on Birds 365. He said, that's Nick's approach. I heard him say it. Well, if that's Nick's approach, he ain't changing for the Buck game. John McMullen said that. I heard it on Birds 365. I fucking wrote it down. That's Nick's approach. Why? Because it's analytics. Nick prepares his team based off the analytics. Hey, Sills, so we've seen that they can put up points when they have to. What's the key to getting more consistency? We have too many weapons not to score 30 a game. A seasoned here, Josh, ask yourself this. Okay? So if you have all these great players, why wouldn't you get a seasoned coordinator, offensive coordinator, to run your offense? Why wouldn't you get a seasoned coordinator? Why would you not? Why would you get next guy up in the building stuff? Why? Why would you do that? Okay? Why would you do that? So Arthur thinks Patullo's a good coordinator. Okay. Seals, couldn't the injuries to the O-line and the players' attitude change the offensive philosophy? Samuel, yes, it could. Yes. More money and lesser ability to manipulate and control the more experienced coordinators like your DC. Correct. It's what we said last week. You're not walking in Vic Fangio's defensive coordinator room and offering suggestions up. Vic's seen everything. What are you fucking talking about? I told you and Xander last week that freaking Nick, I hate that Nick wants to boss around the coordinator. He can't do that to seasoned coordinators. Marshall, listen, you're 3-0. And I'm giving this, listen to me clearly here. You're 3-0 because you have fucking great players. Not because you're doing it right on offense. There's too much meddling. Okay? I mean, you go from 23's meltdown to a Super Bowl champion. What does that tell you? Hey, let me ask you, Marshall, everyone, how do you go from a meltdown of 23 to a Super Bowl champion overnight? What happened? You got experienced people calling plays for you. Can Nick say no to the analytics department? No, he can't. That's how he keeps his job. We're playing below average. Need to improve. The blame is the head coach, offensive coordinator. We must do better to win another Super Bowl. Guys, right now, this is a coaching issue. This is not a player issue. This is coaches. You're too good. I completely see it. You're too good. You are too good. There are too many good football players. What was the line A.J. Brown said? We got too many, too many dogs? And we got too many players for it to be shitting around like this? This is exactly what I've been saying to you for the first start of the season. How about this? You want to hear this too? Hey, Bob, too many killers? There's too many killers on that team. So, hey, Slagger, let me ask you something, Slagger. So how about this? AJ comes out of that game disappointed, and he was a freaking star in that game. Jalen Hurts comes out of that game disappointed. And I get the excitement on being 3-0. You're dead on. I'm not trying to dismiss that. I swear to you. But your own players are not happy. Don't you get that sense? My God almighty. I can't be the only one that senses the players aren't even happy. You guys like M. Reyes and all them are saying they played A plus football in 3 weeks. And A.J. Brown is talking shit on people, knowing full well that we got killers on our team and we're not getting the ball. I mean, right? But you're happy. Do I like winning? I like winning championships. I like winning championships. Winning? Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Herberto asked me if I like winning. Thank you for not robbing a bank. Winning? Why don't you act like the defending champions and want championships? The Eagles got the winning down. Now it's championships. Do you like not winning? When you're a football team like Philly, that's won championships, winning's not enough. Winning's not enough. And by the way, one title is not enough. Here, you immediately start crying about the running game after the win. You definitely was dismissing the win. I'm not going to reach around and make you feel better about your life, Zach. You don't like what I said so far. This ain't the show for you, dude. This is not the show for you. There's a lot of other ass-kissing shows that are less rated than ours. I'm sure they'll need your help too. Get championships one game at a time. You think they don't know that? No, I'm not extending Jordan Davis right now. Absolutely not. You're fucking crazy. It's 3 games, 12 quarters of football. Holy shit. Relax. Like all you guys or people telling me the Packers were great. I told you flat out, September's a liar's month. Relax. Seriously, you bought into the Packers? No. Told you all that the last 2 weeks. I haven't bought in. They turn around and they lay an egg against the Browns. Was I shocked? No. I get this. Senor said I said the Packers are great. How many people in here heard me say I'm not buying the Packers? They're off to a great start with those 2 games. How many people said I'm not buying Jordan Love? Okay, now you're going to lie. Again, you might as well go to Washington, D.C. and sit on one of them Hill hearings because all you guys lie in here. Did you see the clip of Hurts yelling at the OC? How about this here, man? So I tell you that the OC stinks. Hurts is yelling at him, and AJ goes over to the sidelines, and he starts hollering at Patullo too. I've been telling you the whole fucking time. Okay? And that this guy's not good. Even the players in game are now doing it. Okay? But, bro, you got to be kidding me. Folks, he's lying. He wants to make himself sound better. Again, thanks a lot, Senor. I appreciate you, man. Again, just help the algorithm for the rest of the day. Shields, Jalen was pissed post-game, kept chirping on how poor they played in the first half. Samuel, isn't that crazy? I'm talking like Jalen. I'm talking like AJ. I'm talking like the coaches. And yet you guys want me to do a fucking parade around the campfire here, making yourselves feel better about yourselves. I'm not doing that. There's not one player in that place that feels good about how they played. They shouldn't be in positions like that. And you want me to sit here and go like this when the players and coaches aren't happy? I don't fucking get you. I reflect the players and coaches, not you. Seals, if the pass game was somewhere near 15 or 18th, Barkley would look like Barkley again. I agree. So let's take a look at these numbers. And let's go down the list here and take a look at what you did in the game with the Rams. And let's see how you did. Because I can promise you, what you guys are saying right now, Vic will say it tomorrow. And I'll give you the first shot at trying to, as Senor would do, flip-flop on what he'll say, what I say. I want you to be very, very tentative on what I say. Okay? Because Vic will validate it tomorrow on what I say when coordinators speak. All right? So let's go here. So let's ask this question. Give me a grade on the offense. How good do you think the offense played? I see you, Steven. I think this is really great. I'm proud of the players, too. They played their asses off. Absolutely. Absolutely. How well do you think they played offensively? B minus. C. Below average. D minus first, B plus second. All right. I think we're in the same room. So let's take a look at it and what they did. Let's go to team numbers. So the Rams ran the ball for 160 yards. How do you think your front four did against the run? By the way, you're 18th in the NFL in rush defense after this game. This guy doesn't think you have any room for improvement. I know I'm not the only one who noticed that we started throwing the ball down the field because the defense began to spread out, which opened up the run game. It isn't rocket science. I got it. Okay? He's not playing up to his standard. All right? The defensive tackles in your D-line got annihilated in this game against the run. The Rams ran at will. The Rams had 5.4 yards a carry. Last week, he gave up 5 yards a carry. How well do you think you're playing against the run in the first 3 weeks? Shit, the Cowboys had 120 yards rushing. You're giving up 5 yards a carry on the ground. What do you make of that? It's 60 minutes in a football game. You gave up 160 yards rushing to the Rams, who throw the ball. Okay? Correct. Area for improvement. Carter getting in better shape. Your edge rushers, it wasn't really your tackles. What were the Rams doing in that game to the Eagles? Xander, we missed this in the postgame show. And this is a John McMullen special. What run play did they run in this game, most notably, against the Philadelphia Eagle front seven? Guys got it. Zone runs outside. There it is, Gabe. The Rams ran the stretch play on you, and it succeeded. They were attacking the perimeter and the edges. Wasn't your tackles. It wasn't Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. Your edges got killed. Okay? Your edges got killed. All right? So that's something that you're going to have to address here as you move along. The stretch play killed you. The stretch play actually hurt you in the Kansas City game. Okay? So keep an eye on that. We're in 12 quarters of football. Got to underscore this. Your edge rushers were nowhere. It's Darius Smith, all them guys. They got killed in the run. It really was the play of Carter and Davis. I thought Jalen Carter played poorly. Wasn't Jalen Carter. Mario Jomo didn't have a great game. The edge rushers didn't have a great game. Mario Jomo did not play well, and your edge rushers didn't play well. Most of that 160 was, again, off the edges. What did the running back have for what did he have? Shit, he had 94 yards. He had 94 yards himself on 20 carries. He outplayed Barkley in that ball game. Stretch play hurt you. They couldn't afford turnovers in 23 because they couldn't beat the blitzes. The defense sucked. They don't have to be so conservative with this defense behind them. And the defense is getting better. The defense is getting better. Okay? It is. So the stretch play hurt you on that defense. And they were getting outside and getting on the perimeter. So I'm going to have to take a look at the 22 when it's out. But I don't think your tackle play was bad. As a matter of fact, I think your tackle play was very good. Okay? I don't think I think the Rams, the Rams in the last 3 games have closed the gap. Don't you think, Yale? After getting killed in the game in Los Angeles a year ago, the playoff game, they had a shot to win the game again. I think the Rams are getting better. If I were the Rams, I'm coming out of that game thinking, guess what? I'm closing the gap every game. Now, again, you got to win those games. Dean helped with the stretch runs. He studied a lot. It's a great take. Your linebackers aren't helping the edge. They're not getting out there and protecting the edge. You had 160 yards rushed on you at 5.4 carry. Crazy win. By the way, when somebody goes like this, we played great in the second half. There's 60 minutes of football. You're too good to be talking about half a game. I know we have issues with CB2, but the run defense could be a major issue. I thought Campbell had his worst game yesterday. Absolutely did. But not physical and stopping the run. He wasn't. Xander, I missed that super chat. By the way, John, thank you. I believe, no, the next one. Not that one, Xander. There you go. They couldn't afford turnovers in 23. Yeah, okay, we read this one here. Yeah, we got them all. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that quick. Biggest issue this team has is the edge. Can't set it. No pressure. Is this something we can fix? By the way, am I right when I say this? The only guy who had a sack in this game was Davis. Your edge rushers were nowhere to be seen in this ball game. Okay, they were nowhere to be seen. Dean could play sideline to sideline. Coverage is mid. I would say, look, the loss of Nakobe Dean is being felt a little bit. Because if those edge rushers can't set it, linebackers have to go out there, and that's your second line of defense. All right, so let's go to another section here. 2 areas of football are stopping the run and running the ball. So let's put this in proper context. Let's go to team. You ran the ball for 86 yards. How many yards did Jalen Hurts have rushing? Hurts had 40. So am I right to say nobody else had any carries? Your running attack had 46 yards rushing? Is that right? So you're struggling running the ball and you're struggling defending the run in 3 games. Is that fair? Is that fair? That you struggled in stopping it and running it. Fair? No? What's not fair about it? You've been outrushed in almost every single game so far this year. And you got football teams. You're 17th and 18th in stopping the run, guy. You're 18th stopping the run. How is Barkley a top 10 back when Barkley had 46 fucking yards on Sunday? How is he a top 10 back? Dude, your running game is not very good. So, again, in 12 quarters of football, the Eagles' run defense and rushing offense are like 20th, 18th, 16th. Okay? All right? There's some of your problems right there. Can't run the ball. Can't defend the run. It's one of the reasons why you're keeping teams in game. And then when you add the coordinator to the mix on offense, you want to know why they're coming down to one-score games? Right now, as far as I'm concerned, those three areas. Your edge rushers aren't getting pressure. You can't set them. Teams are running the football on you. And you can't run the ball. Okay? Yeah, here's what's positive. We're identifying the things that you're going to have to fix to win a Super Bowl. I'm sure you don't see it that way because you see things in, like, I don't know, stupid vision. Seals, by league standards, we're running okay because the other teams throw more. By Philly standards, yeah, but you win games running the ball, dude. You don't win games, Philly standard. So again, yeah, I know. That's why I'm making more of an issue of it. You're not a passing team. You're a running team. It would be the same issue, Bob, and I think maybe you're alluding to that. It'd be the same issue as the Bengals not being able to move the chains throwing the ball. Right. Our run game has been elite since 21. 3 games don't outweigh the equity that they built here. Yes, it does. All those things in 3 years since 21 have no bearing on this year. It's different personnel. As a matter of fact, you had a different right guard since 21 in every year since we've covered your team. Isaac Seumalo, then you went to Cam Jurgens, then you went to Mekhi Becton, and now you're at Tyler Steen. You've had 4 different dudes at right guard. And you've had 4 different coordinators. Coordinators, offensive line juggling, and injuries have played a factor in your run game. You got the same fucking people back. What's different? It's Becton and the play caller. What else is it? What else is it? John Gruden's complex offense is not going to help the Eagles. Hurts is not a complex guy. It's just letting him throw more. I'll tell you this. I'd rather have Jalen Hurts throw 3 picks in a game and try to have some balance in a game than sitting around and playing half a game like that, keeping the other team close, and praying they miss a field goal or block a field goal. I mean, the incredible happened. The incredible happened. You blocked a field goal with 3 seconds left in the game. They had that thing. Technically, okay, you're right. I'm sure. Get this. Technically, Barkley is 10th in rushing as of today, but Henry is 11th and only 3 yards behind him, and he plays tonight. So wait a minute. The Ravens had 4,100 passing yards and 41 touchdowns from their passing game. You're built on the run attack. Your offensive game plan is built on Barkley, not Hurts. You make it sound like you're like, well, hey, Barkley being 10th, Barkley was first a year ago. Teams are keying on the run game. Going to have to pass to open it up. By the way, I do want to underscore something. Now, I think this is important too. The mental toughness that your team shows is spectacular. You're winning in spite of some of the issues that you're having on the team. Lack of run game, lack of run defense, and lack of experienced offensive play calling. And you're winning because you have really good players and smart players that have been in it. Okay? Now, I'll ask you this. You think Jalen Hurts took over the pseudo-type play calling in the second half? Boy, it surely looked different to me. Okay? Benny, you say no? Well, why do you say no? That Jalen Hurts didn't take over more of the play calling when Jalen Hurts went over, started bitching at Kevin Patullo in his face, along with A.J. Brown. You don't think he did? So you think he just went over there? So 3 games is a trend right now. We're trending down. If the rushing attack is held to average and the passing needs to balance that out, a conservative, timid play calling won't work. You know what, Bob? I'm glad you put it this way. This right here has been my open today, is right there what Bob's saying. It's timid play calling. Absolutely, I would never in a million years put Jalen Hurts over Joe Burrow. Not happening. Now, I mean, as a skilled player, no. As available, as a tough guy, he's right there with anybody in the league. Guys, he doesn't have the skill set of that man. Whatever. Burrow is the Embiid of the NFL. Why? He's taking the Cincinnati Bengals to a Super Bowl. The Bengals. The Bengals. Hurts looked like he was going more up-tempo at the line. How many times have we said that here? That he is really good when they put up tempo. Guys, hit the like button, please. Guys have been great. Okay? Senor, do you believe, let me ask Senor this. Senor, do you believe that another player on another team who's not on a good team could be better than Jalen Hurts, yes or no? Like, say, a Myles Garrett. You think Jalen Carter's better than Myles Garrett? Can that possibly be? But he plays on the Browns. Is it possible that they're better players than yours, even if they didn't win a Super Bowl? Or is that not how you look at it? No. I'm not asking you about, I don't play fantasy either. I'm asking you, do you believe that better players than some of the guys? No. So you think if you win a Super Bowl, you think they're better football players because they won a Super Bowl, like Tyler Steen is a better guard than Quentin Nelson is in Indianapolis. Those are people I won't be debating. Hurts is a poor man's Brady. That's not a terrible compliment. That's actually a hell of a compliment. Do you think Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar will win more than Burrow on the Bengals? No. I think Hurts wins more than Burrow does. Listen, my friend, I'm not debating this. Troy Aikman was never the best quarterback during his era. But he won 3 Super Bowls, and he was more of a Super Bowl guy because Jimmy built a great team around him. I'm not having this infantile discussion. Just look at the Hall of Fame. There's many players that did not win a Super Bowl, never got to one, were some of the greatest players of all time. I'm not debating that. No, Sills, it's circumstantial. It's a team sport. Exactly. Because Jalen Hurts plays on a team sport and in a team sport, you think he's better than Joe Burrow is fucking preposterous to think that. Get this. It's not hate. What, you got to love a guy more than the other guy when you know the other guy's better? What a fucking dumb take. You can't be dumber. Hurts wouldn't be able to do shit with Burrow's offensive line. Nobody would. Do you think when it's all said and done, the truth about this overall talk about Nick and Jalen will come out? I think Jalen Hurts resents the fact that they have so many coordinators every year. I do. I think he resents it. That he'll never have the Eagles don't develop quarterbacks. How could you? Press Taylor, Shane Steichen, Brian Johnson, Kellen Moore, and now Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni. He's had 6 quarterbacks and he's had 6 coordinators in 6 years. How in the hell do you think you're getting? Name me a quarterback in the NFL that's had 6 coordinators in 6 years. And you think you're helping him develop him with continuity. This guy's winning because he's talented. He's not winning because of great thinkers. He's a really good, smart football player. Baker Mayfield, maybe, but Baker, Samuel, was circumstantial because he was canned and fired. Jalen's not been fired. He got fired in Cleveland. He got fired in Carolina. He got fired, well, not really fired in LA. And he's had a couple different coordinators in Tampa. But he was thrown off of football teams. Sales Patullo is calling plays not to lose rather than to win game. No. I think those guys come down from the analytics people to Nick. And Nick sits and builds the game plan around the analytics department. Sills, is this 2023-24 or a new version of Hurts? I think it's a new version. It's a great question. Or Des, I like what you just did there. I think it's a different version. I think this is going to be the cerebral year where he's going to go like this. No, I think this is the year of no. We're not doing that. Shields, do you think it's Patullo being conservative or is it coming down from higher ups? I think it's coming down from higher ups. I do. He doesn't have that kind of balls to do that. So let me ask you this. You think Kevin Patullo all of a sudden just in the second half had an epiphany? Where would you get that from? It's been all over the place for 3 games. And then in the second half, he had an epiphany? Sills, when Pryor was playing, he got Jalen killed. I don't get that either. Why did you not have Fred Johnson? I was saying the same shit. I'm going, why is Matt Pryor playing out there? Jalen got hit a lot in that game. He got hit hard. That sack by Verse, I thought when he decleated him, I thought he killed him. That was a big hit on Hurts. And then Saquon Barkley missed the block and almost got him killed. I thought Fred came in and played well. Bro, Hurts calling the plays is the dumbest take ever, okay? Then who called him in the second half? All of a sudden, Kevin Patullo? Hey, Benny, whatever, guy. Well, whoever called the plays in the first half is a fucking loser. Do you not agree? Whoever's been calling plays for 3 games has been an asshole. Do you not agree? Or no? They're winning in spite of that. Fucking stupid. Ass-kissing Eagle fan. Instead of being just an Eagle fan. Expect greatness. Speculation. Okay, Steven, then you figure it out. Seals, do you think Jalen went rogue? And we was no. If he did go rogue, it was in a good way. Dude, Jalen Hurts is winning games for you. Yeah, that's what I am. Steven from someplace on the planet is making me butthurt. Bro, thanks for coming here. So I'm not saying we need John Gruden. I'm just saying a mature OC that can't be pushed around like Vic is better than what we have. I think that's why you get up and downs. If this is coming from higher ups, then he needs to call the plays, whatever he wants. There's no way Hurts did not call those plays. I agree with you, Mikey. I think Hurts had more say in the second half. I swear I thought I was seeing play calling genius of Dumb and Dumber. Dude, you had -3 yards in the first half. 34 total. It was the worst. All of a sudden, that guy turned it around? No fucking way. Why would he change? Who told him? Nick? Did Nick tell him? Well, Nick must have told him then in the first half to start the game out like that. Remember what everyone says? It's a collaborative effort. It's a collaborative effort? Well, who put you in that game plan in the first half? Here, let's do this. Who put the offense in that game plan in the first half? What do you think? Give me a name. Nick has overall say in the direction of the team. Now, okay. Bobo Patula finally took the leash off my boy. I don't believe that that's what happened. Stills, the score of the game put the second half offense out there. Yes. Yes. It's like you said last week, Hurts has been two-team guy. Great quarterbacks need to have a little asshole in them. Correct. We said Saints lose out, Kellen gets fired and comes back. I don't want Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore's not going to help Hurts. He didn't help him a year ago. He improved the run game. He didn't improve the passing game. He didn't improve the passing game. Jalen Hurts said, we aren't running the ball in the A gap anymore. Pick some passing plays and throw the damn ball. Senor, is that a quote? Jalen said, we aren't running the ball in the A or B gaps anymore. Pick some pass plays and throw the damn ball. Did he really say that? Oh, that was you? Okay. All right. I got you, senor. The owner's son made the game plan. Sure looks it. I got you, bro. Is the goal to win a Super Bowl or improve the passing game? The overall goal is to improve the talent around your football team and get the best out of the talent that you have, not scrape along and win games and put yourself in a position where you can lose a critical game. Every single football game that you've played so far, you should have won by 10 or more points. And yet you're keeping everybody in because you're doing two things that you're not doing you did a year ago. You can't stop the run. You can't run the ball. And you're not setting the edges. And you're not getting that dynamic run game you had a year ago. That's why every one of these games are close. You're, again, like I said, see, a guy like M. Reyes will tell you you're playing A+ football. I think you're playing D football, C- football, D+ football. Because I think you got a shitload of room of improvement. I don't even think you've played average football. How can you say you played, how about this? You guys think you played average football in that game against the Rams? You know what you'll do? We played horrible in the first quarter, and we played great in the second half. I asked you if you thought you played a football game where you played a really good football game and you played up to your abilities. Do you believe that? You haven't played a complete game. Have you guys played a complete football game? Man, how come I talk like the players and you get on my ass? You guys would be questioning your own players then. Senor, I'm not even really ripping the Eagles. I'm echoing the players. So if the players were in here, you'd be hollering at them too. Every single guy walked off that football field not happy with what they saw. And M. Reyes is A+. Funny. The players don't see what M. Reyes sees. Right there in a nutshell. Right there in a nutshell. He sees the game one way. Players see it a different way. Well, guess what, M. Reyes? The Eagles aren't. We have a $2 million offense, yet our defense is the one winning games. Not acceptable. How about this, though, Dirty? It's that they're not living up to the expectations that people have set for that offense. You kept that entire offense pretty much intact. Mekhi Becton can't be that much of a loss. The right guard position has been a movable piece for the last 4 years. Okay? Seals, we need to be playing a better brand of football. You know what I think? You need to be playing football that complements your talent. Is that fair? I happen to agree with this, Brett. I agree. It's not 100%. All right? Not a complete game yet. That said, the second half deserves B+ to an A. I'm not saying they didn't play like that in the second half. But I look at 4 quarters of football, man. I don't read half a book. I don't watch half a movie. I mean, you guys are watching half a movie, and you know what you're doing? You're trying to compromise your own standards. You compromise your own standards. You know what I'm saying? This is something they're not doing. Relying on field goal blocks and drop passes is not, dudes, that's not. So MJ says this, or M. Reyes says this, relying on Kelsey drop passes and relying on a blocked field goal is winning football. Sills reads books. That Fairy Godfather book looks really fresh off the press. I got it right here. It's all good. I like the guy. Even Jalen Hurts wasn't happy with the team in his own words. We did it to ourselves. Tell me something, man. Watch this. Hey, Rakeem, I'm going to show you somebody here. Complaining ass Eagle fans come over here to bitch at a 3-0 team. And yet the quarterback bitched. AJ bitched. Coaches bitched. You're not the only one bitching. Because you know what they want, Spike? They want a championship. You want to be told how fucking nice you are. Or how great you are. I mean, your own players. Poorly coached team doesn't get the W's. So Kevin Patullo is a great coach all of a sudden. I got it. And if that's Nick, that he has say over that, that's Nick doing that. It's one or the other. You're too good to be in games like this. Don't you get this? I'm actually giving you a compliment here today. You're too good for this. Hey, by the way, I don't think you've stretched yourself out where you're better than everybody else in the league. What is there, 6 teams right now that are unbeaten? I think you're probably going to get the benefit of the doubt because you're the defending champ, but you're not fucking playing great ball. There's 6 other teams unbeaten. The only difference, as I say, is that you've won. I don't know what you're talking about here. It's only 12 quarters. Hey, Sills, that Packer team. I'm like, yeah, right. I don't believe it. Nice 2 games, Washington and Detroit. But I went like this. I don't believe them. Why is it? Because I don't believe in Jordan Love. Sills, my man, if we get that 2-point conversion yesterday to go up 3, do you think the Rams put up a TD at the end to beat us? There would have been more time, right? I don't know. How about this? I think they would have had an opportunity with the ball in their hand to win the game, like they did in that championship game or that playoff game. They would have had the ball in their hand with a shot to win it. That's what they did this last game too. The last 2 games, they've had a chance to win the ball game. I think they've closed the gap, actually. I don't mean they're better. But that first one a year ago was a dog and pony show. They ran you off the field. Last 2 games, they haven't. Actually dominated you for 3 quarters. Stupid field goals. You got to have a bigger set of onions. I get it. He's on the road. He wants the points. It's the right thinking. Sills, honest question. Let's say Hurts. By the way, Howard Eskin is going to join us at 3:30. And we've got Gary Cobb, and then Xander's going to join us at 5. All right? So, got a bunch of people this week, too. Tony Dungy's coming on, and we're going to talk Bucks and Eagles. We should probably get Herm Edwards on again, too. Sills, honest question. Let's say Hurts goes out and only passes. Then the question is running. So, what is it that they should be looking for? You've got to get the ball into the A.J. Brown's hands. Remember I told you, force it to him. They couldn't defend him. Force it to him. You see his yards after catch? His yards after catch, I mean, was freaking so impressive. By the way, I thought Devontae Smith ran absolutely spectacular routes. He was so tough in that game. The 2-star receivers and the quarterback were the key in that ball game. Your O-line did not play well. Quarterback got destroyed. The run game couldn't get going. That's Jalen Hurts right there. Actually, for the first time, your offensive line looks like it's regressing. Now, is that Landon and no Becton? Because I'll tell you, that's a different looking O-line. I'd much rather start slow. Correct. Steven, that's a great take right here. I'd much rather start slow and fast than the other way around. I think this is the post-bye week game from last year. Our offense will shift. No way, Steven. No way. They're going to get marching orders from the analytics people, and I do not believe that. You guys are here telling me, and you think, hey, no way. They are not changing for this Buck game. You're 19-1. There may be more. Hey, I'll tell you this. Don't you think the difference also may have been a little bit of Dallas Goedert in the middle of the field, that 33-yard catch? That opened up the perimeters a little more? Goddard, they're going to look at it as Goddard being on the field was a factor. Smitty knows exactly where the sticks are. He's so good out there. Dallas Goedert was a factor in that game. Will they listen to the players and take the handcuffs off the offense? No. Second half, Third and fourth quarter, outstanding getting the ball in the hands. And he played tough. The -3 passing yards in the first half was horrific. Seals, do you think this run defense performance means Dean will get back on the field? I'll tell you what, John Campbell got his ass kicked in this game. He did not play well. Thought he was okay. Okay? I thought he was okay. Play calling has been a huge issue. The offense shouldn't have to overcome bad play calling. 1,000% agree. Your players are so good. Shields, you got to watch Nick's demeanor and how we answer questions in the post-game conference. We'll tell you all you need to know. I saw a little bit of it. I went back and watched it. He knows this is him. Kevin Patullo is going to be told what to do. He's not going to have free reign on what to do. Why would he? You give a guy who's never called a play free reign? Why would you? He has no experience. Seals, it feels like we are just hanging around. Samuel, my problem with the whole conversation is this. You should be beating teams by 10 points. This shit's self-inflicted. This is not players. Dude, the players are playing to the best of their ability in the system they're in. You imagine this. You got superstar killers, as AJ would say. And you're limiting them and putting them in positions of not success. And they're still winning because they're so talented. This is fucking bad coaching. This is bad coaching. You're winning in spite of bad situational play calling. And Vic working chicken shit into chicken soup. Hey, Sills, great show. To get wins not playing great ball, it does. Bodes well for the soft part of the schedule coming up. Tampa's a good test to see what this offensive coordinator is going to look like. Absolutely. And remember this, too. You're going to have a great matchup. And how about this, guys? Todd Bowles versus Kevin Patullo this weekend. How do you feel about that? Why not have Nick call plays? Oh, right. He sucks. How about this? Kevin Patullo taking on Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles has a Super Bowl ring, too. Chronic hamstring. I think so. But Tristan Wirfs and Chris Godwin are playing this week. It's not been announced yet. They're playing. Okay? I'm giving you guys off the script stuff here. Chris Godwin and Tristan Wirfs, they are playing. I can't believe we're putting this all on KP. Hurts was throwing to guys in the second half when they weren't even open. He decided to get aggressive and not trust his playmakers. It's a little bit of both. So you think plus or minus 3 yards passing and the players going over to the sidelines to complain at him, it was the players thinking that was them? I didn't see it that way. Go back and watch that. Seals, do you think the Birds should get Super Bowl more involved in the passing game, or SB, excuse me, more involved in the passing game in the underneath? Saquon Barkley with screens and such. I don't know, man. Saquon Barkley's not playing good football right now. Missing blocks on the passing game, not running the football well. Here, it's 12 quarters. You think that 2K following year thing's a thing? Let's not forget, Atlanta game a year ago. Barkley dropped the ball. He just does not look. He doesn't look hurt. I don't know what it is. He's just not running in space well. Oh, is he? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like he's mentally not in. Get this, folks. See this? Saquon Barkley misses a block and almost gets his quarterback killed and says that's snake oil. And how many people out there saw Barkley miss the block in his 46 yards rushing attempt, 2-7 in this game? How many people saw that? I know he didn't, but did you? He missed the block and almost got Hurts killed in the ball game. Is that snake oil? Is it? Is that snake oil? I'm just curious. You tell me. So Saquon looked bad yesterday, missed the block and was dropping passes and couldn't run. He dropped a pass. He seemed to be looking upfield. He missed the block because he got stuck helping Pryor. Okay? So your O-line's not playing well. Kind of some of the shit we've been saying. Your offensive line is not... You know what? You may have the best O-line. Well, they ain't playing like it. I think Cam Jurgens is not playing well. I don't think Cam's playing well. Guys, I mean, they got pressure on you. They held your, pretty much for 3 quarters, they held your football team intact. That's not snake oil. That's what happened. So Saquon suddenly getting space jammed and Pryor being a revolving door is on Petula. The first half was an execution problem. Well, who executes plays? Players, right? So when he missed the block and he has 46 yards rushing and he's not really rushed the ball very well in the first 3 games, what is that? And the players, this guy right here refuses to admit that the players went over and bitched at him. Because you know what it does? It validates what I've been saying. The players are complaining. Not M. Reyes. The players are complaining. Like I said, if M. Reyes would be arguing with Barkley, Hurts, AJ, and Devontae on what they said after the game, he'd be arguing with them. No, that's not what you saw. That's what he'd be telling them. That's not what they saw. He saw a different game. Remember I told you, people like that will watch a completely different game than what players will and see a completely different ball game. So let me put this out there to you. Gary Cobb will join us again at 4:30. So Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown go over to the sidelines, and they start bitching at Kevin Petullo about his play calling. They had -3 yards passing in the first half of that football game. And I'll put this on the other side. Here's the difference right now in the Eagles right now. The Rams had 160 yards rushing, not up the middle. Your edge rushers were getting blown off the ball. The Rams had 160 at 5.3 a carry. That's the 3rd game in a row that a football team's averaging a nickel on you and run defense. You can't set the edge, and your offense, you take Hurts 40 yards away running, you had 46 yards rushing in this ball game. 46 yards rushing. Now, you can't, at this time, it's 12 quarters. You can't run it right now. You're not very good at defending the run. That's what's keeping you in the games. And suspect play calling. Dude, if that was not an analytics first half, I don't know what was. We're going to win a game. Now, I'm going to get to Howard Eskin here in a minute because here's the one thing that Nick Sirianni says all the time. It's collaborative effort, right? On game plans being put together, right? We hear that. What did Frank Reich say? By the way, I'll read all your supers at the end of this. What did Frank Reich say on here, how you build game plans in Philadelphia? We get analytics, comes down, game plans are built around the analytics. Kevin Patullo's never called a play. So he's going to go in there, and Nick's going to have a philosophy on how the direction of the team's going to go. Second half, the players came and bitched on the sidelines. We got killers here. Let's get this ball down the field. And they were able to come out of that in the second half, and they were able to come back and win. Hey, wishing and hoping for a blocked field goal and drop passes, you're going to win games, but you ain't going to win a Super Bowl. All right. Guy's been a sideline man for years and covered that football team. And he knows Nick. He knows all these guys. And I can't wait to hear what he saw and his quick takeaways without polluting anything here. Our friend, the legendary Howard Eskin, WIP's legendary man, joins us right now. And I'll say this to you. I mean, without polluting anything here, Howard, your quick takeaways on what you saw yesterday.
First of all, former WIP.
Former.
You know,
I don't think you could ever be former because I'll tell you why. You built the place.
Not in their minds, but that's another story. Yeah, you know, there's no heart and soul there anymore. So there was a heart and soul when I was there.
That's right.
But all right, I don't agree with you. You have been on Kevin Patullo the whole year.
So were the players in this game.
Well, but look at their field position the first half. First of all, they got to change their kickoff guy on kickoffs. Did he catch the ball once? He dropped it and he put him back in terrible field position, correct?
Do you know that the Rams kicker does something that he kicks like this knuckleball, and they even addressed it. And they said that this guy here has the marking on him. Like, I've never heard of such a thing. So I don't know if that was real, but boy, I'll tell you what, man, they did struggle at catching that football. No question about it.
Well, he reverted into that on a couple of field goals. On that blocked field goal, if you look at it from behind, and again, I don't know until you break it down from behind or the other end zone.
Right, the 22.
It looked like he was kicking the ball like he kicked off, like on an angle. It looked like he was going to miss that field goal anyway because they knew his field goal attempts were low. So that's part of it. But there's so many other issues before you get to that. In the second half, they were forced to pass. And that was not that they want to do that, but is it Saquon? Without Saquon Barkley being the player he was last year, he's still a good player, but obviously I think we can say he's not quite as good, whether it's something on the offensive line, whether it's defenses doing different things against him. Without him running the ball, then Jalen's got a pass. Their philosophy, and this was their philosophy last year, and it worked because Barkley was really, really good. They don't want him to throw more than 21 to 23 passes a game because they're afraid of the turn.
They're going to revert and do anything different in this Buck game coming up then this weekend. They're going to have the same philosophy going against the Bucks this weekend that they started the game out with the Rams.
Well, Todd Bowles always does a good job against Jalen Hurts. So that's going to be a part of the equation as well, that Todd Bowles is going to make it difficult for him. The other thing that I thought was a little, I would say distressing, probably too strong a word. The pass rush was better on Jalen Hurts. And I don't know, from the front side, he should have awareness. did it appear to you? I'm asking you the question. Did it appear to you that he had the awareness of the pass rushers from the front side, or the two sacks that I remember where he got just destroyed, and the one was a fumble? You know, the rusher is kind of right in front of him. And I think that's maybe they had a little concern, and especially that there's nothing they could do about it without Lane Johnson. You had to deal with it without Lane Johnson.
I'll go here with you, Howard. Here, I think he assumed that Barkley was going to pick up that blitzer, because when that guy came in, he blew him up and he missed that. So
he missed it totally.
He missed that, but I'll also put this out there to you. I don't think that Jalen Hurts really feels pressure well. He took 51 sacks last year. So anytime that you don't have your top flight guys out there, he's not going to be a guy that's going to spot where pressures come from. I heard Jason Kelsey even say this a few times, that, again, it's still a work in progress, that he's still learning on where blitzing and where that's coming from. And that's why Todd Bowles has always had a good game against him, because he brings internal pressure. He brings delayed blitzes. He does a lot of that stuff. And I think that's what Chris Shula did in the game to Jalen. And when you don't have Lane out there, you have an injured Landon, and you got Pryor playing out there, I think that's a remedy for disaster, and why there was more pressure. And I still think he struggles in the pocket seeing it.
Well, and maybe that's one of the reasons they don't want to pass as much as you want them to pass, or people do, and you blame the offensive coordinator. Kevin Patullo has, for the last at least couple of years, maybe, probably more than that, involved in the meetings with the offense and the quarterback. So he knows what they wanted. He knew what they wanted to do, whether he called the plays or not. He always assisted on the sidelines if there was a question. And if Nick Sirianni does not like a play, obviously he can say, no, I think we should run this play. So we don't know what goes on inside those headsets. But I always contend that the players have to make plays. They weren't making plays. Barkley wasn't running the ball. They had terrible field position in the first half. And, people on social media, Eagles fans are, man, they just drink and drink and drink that Kool-Aid. It was great. How can you say they were fortunate? Well, they were fortunate.
They were fortunate. They played 2 quarters of football.
You know what? And Jordan Davis, it was exciting to see a 300 and some pound guy run down the field with a fumble, but he's supposed to go down. The game's over if he goes down. What happens if he gets hurt? What happens if for some reason the ball slips out of his hand as he's running? You never know what could happen. Okay, so he didn't, and it was exciting.
I was more impressed with him chasing him down on 4th down or 3rd down or whatever that play was, that he chased Stafford, albeit he's 37. But
yeah, Stafford didn't have enough. He didn't have enough speed to get to the edge. But yeah, he chased him down and he stopped him from the 1st down. But when you look at the game, the Eagles, you could say it was their defense, but the Rams have to convert some of those field goals into touchdowns. And here's another break. On the 2-yard touchdown run that was called back because of holding, probably 50% of the time that play's not called as holding. So that's a 4-point difference too. So they would have probably not been in the position. And the other thing that I think is alarming, I'll say alarming, they get a 1-point lead, and then the other team, the Rams, just march down the field in position for a field goal. And most of the time, the kicker is going to make that field goal at 42 yards. So you've got to stop them there and not let them move down the field. So there's things that are concerning. The head coach, I mean, the fans don't want to listen to, what he's really saying. We got to get better. Now, he always says we've got to get better. But in this game, they made too many mistakes. And I just don't know that I like I don't know that I like their secondary. I like Quinyon Mitchell. I like Cooper DeJean. But did they really make any plays?
Reed has not played well so far in the 3 games.
Who?
Reed Blankenship has not played well.
No, and he's not played. But the other players and the other corner, and
Dory
I don't
Jackson.
know. It's just Baker Mayfield's not Stafford, but Baker Mayfield is a tough son of a gun, and I think he's still a good quarterback.
4,500 yards a year ago, 41 TDs. He's actually thrown for over 80 touchdowns in the last 2 years. I mean, he's thrown for more touchdowns. You want to hear this? This is a crazy stat. Heading into this year, Baker Mayfield has thrown more touchdown passes than Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson in 2 years.
Wow.
I mean, it's incredible on what that guy's been able to do, and he's had 2 different coordinators. I'm not telling you, because I'm not there yet either with him, but boy, I've never seen a reclamation project where I thought that guy was a bum. I mean, he was fired in Carolina by Steve Wilkes, the interim coach. And I can't believe that this guy, they're banged up on the O-line. Now they're getting Tristan Wirfs back and Godwin's coming back. It looks like Mike Evans has a hamstring. He's got a chronic hamstring injury. So I don't know.
He'll play a half. Yeah,
probably play something like that. But boy, I'll tell you, man. I mean, and then Lane Johnson being banged up. So you have Lane banged up. You have Landon banged up heading into this. And I don't really think Cam's playing all that well off that back injury.
You've got to recognize, and the fans have to do it. You don't have to do it. The fans do. Got to recognize it's tough after you win a Super Bowl. Everybody's coming after you. If that game was in LA, I don't know that the Eagles would have won that game because it's a different dynamic. There's some issues that the Eagles certainly have to straighten out, and maybe the Rams went into a little bit of a shell in the second half. That's not. I don't know that.
Too conservative.
Yeah, a little conservative. You still got to just put your foot to the pedal and just keep on going after them. And they didn't. But the Eagles won the game. That's the bottom line, and that's what people are going to look at. But you can't sustain the level of play that you need to you can't sustain the winning with the level of play the way it has been for parts of 3 games.
Absolutely. And I'll say this too. They have not played a complete game. You know what's funny with Eagle fans and Philly fans? I noticed this. When you
What's
say
funny or alarming?
both. How about this? I came out today and I said this. I think the Eagles have played CC minus football in 3 games. And they go like this. Oh my God, you're a hater. And I'm like, no. I think they've got that's a comment that means look how much more improvement you have to make. That if you're beating teams and you're 3-0 and you're playing C minus football, look at the improvement. You got people in here that'll go like this. It's A+. I'm like, well, then you don't think there's any improvement? They're really in problem.
Wait. Who said it was A+?
Oh, there's people that were going like this. It's A+ football. And I'm like, you don't want it to be A+ football. If that's the case, there's no room for improvement.
Well, here, these are the same fans that booed their ass unbelievably the first half. I can't even imagine. I know some of the language that they hear when they walk into the tunnel at halftime. I'll bet you it was at its top rare form as they were walking in.
So you guys don't give a team that just won a Super Bowl and has been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. You don't give anybody the equity of going, let's hang on here and let's see what they do. It's only 12 quarters of football. Philly fans don't give any equity to that they're the reigning champs.
It's not like it was a sprinkle of booze. They don't sprinkle everything. They pile on. And fans are just, boy, they just follow the Pied Piper and just follow the Pied Piper. And it's great. It's great. It's great. It's great. But they booed their ass. So how great was that? They can't play games like that for a half. Denver, I thought Denver would be better. That's 2 games from now, and they're playing them here in Philadelphia.
They're going down to Tampa now, where they've been beating 2 games in a row down there.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I believe, and I think they're overthinking this too. I believe they're going down a day early to Tampa to get used to the heat and
Never.
humidity.
Yeah.
It
No.
never works.
No.
Okay, so
Howard, let me give you, when I first went down from the Northeast, I went down to Miami for when I first started going to college down there. I called my grandfather up and I said this, I gotta come home. I can't handle this humidity. And I've been there a month. And I was going like, I go, I want to come home. He goes, you come home, you're going to the army. I'm like, oh God. So I was like, all right. So Jimmy heard it, but Howard, you never get used to that humidity. It takes years to get used to that humidity, playing in that humidity. A day before is useless.
all right, now here, sports science, and that's all it is. It contradicts themselves. There is a belief in sports science that jet lag is 2 days after the flight. So that's why the Rams came here on Saturday. Teams used to come a day early when they went west to east because it's an earlier starting time. It's a different body clock, and it was a 1 o'clock game. But I don't think that really affected them. And you can overvalue some things and ignore other things. I don't think that's going to make a difference. And if the players are there in Tampa on Saturday, okay, they'll go through a walkthrough. I guess they're not going to go through it out. I don't know where they're going to go through it, inside or outside, but there's probably, a covered area. Yeah. Does USF have an indoor?
Yeah, they have an indoor
okay.
facility.
All right. So they're not going to get used to the humidity anyway. They'll be in the hotel. They'll do the walkthrough in a covered, air-conditioned facility. I don't understand what
you play outside, Howard. You don't play inside.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. The players, they're going to tell the players, hey, I don't want you running around Tampa. So they'll tell them that. They'll be in the hotel most of the time. It's not the routine that they have. Will that have an effect on the game? Maybe, maybe not. But why change your routine?
That's the key right there. Don't change your routine.
So
that's exactly right. I'm not changing my routine to have my players come out of what we do normally when we go on the road like that.
Yeah.
It sounds like it makes it look like you panic a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think they're trying to outthink themselves. Yeah, right. Yeah, outthinking themselves. If in fact that's the case, and I believe that's going to be the case.
What did you make of Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown going over to the sidelines? And how about this? I'm not going to say bitching at him, but they were definitely in Kevin Petula's face about play calling, and you could tell. And they even said it after that. Hey man, we got killers here, and I'm paraphrasing AJ. We got killers here, man. The communication's not very good, and we got to get everybody on the same page. Hurts addressed it after the game. Kevin Petula addressed it. Nick addressed it. I mean, what'd you make of that?
Well, they addressed that they didn't play one of their better football games, even though, and they're fortunate they won. I think one of the people used they were fortunate. They didn't use. I think AJ Brown in the locker room said we were lucky, but AJ always wants the ball, and he's a good guy, but he wants to be fed, and sometimes you can't always feed him. You got to spread it. You got to spread it around. The fact that Goddard was wide open on that touchdown is because AJ's on the field, so they got to be concerned about him. So, talking to Kevin Petula, the communication is very good between all the coaches. They all communicate. They have no problem communicating. They do that. Were they animated? Maybe a little bit, but and just explaining, AJ always thinks he's open. Even when he's not open, he thinks he's open because he can win. He can win the catch over a defender. So he's going to win that if it's, with a defender and he's going after the ball. But they talk to him about what they think could happen. Now, they were forced into what they did in the second half. And, it's just I can't explain the desire of AJ Brown other than he wants the football.
And I respect that from him. And I want him to get the ball because
Yeah.
he is a
I
playmaker
get
guy.
you.
But you made a point about something here about Kevin Patullo. You said that he was in the room, he was there with the game plans, he was there with the last couple of years, so he understands, and it's more so. I'm assuming I'm not putting words in your mouth. Tell me if I'm wrong. That it's about continuity. Okay, so then I'm going to assume then that because it's kind of a directive that in this game coming up with Tampa, that second half, I have people telling me this. Well, that second half should open up the eyes of people that the Eagles are going to start throwing the ball around the room. No way. According to what you're saying, he's been there 4 years. They're going to approach the Buck game the same way they approach the Ram game.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to throw the ball around. It gets out of character. They don't want to put the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, in a position where he's more susceptible to turnovers. That's really what it comes down to.
You
But
saw
you
saw him in the pocket too, like you said.
yeah, it just he only ran a few times. One with only one design play, right? There was only one design
One design
run.
play. The rest of
Yep.
it was off script. He had 9 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown, and they were essential. Because again, like I said, think about this here, Howard. The Eagles, I mean, it's got to be one of their worst running attacks in the last 4 years. They only had 86 yards rushing in this ball game.
Yeah, I know.
40 of it came from Jalen.
Yeah, off of scrambles for the most part.
Off of scrambles and off script plays. They had 46 yards rushing.
Yeah, I don't know how much is the offensive line. I don't know how much is the other teams are doing a better job. Well, if they're doing a better job, then there's other things you can do. And apparently it's not there. When you see Jalen stand in the pocket.
But Howard, if they're doing that good a job stopping the run, and you got -3 yards in the first half, how are you not seeing that?
Well, again, when you look at him looking over the field, it seems like not all the time, but a lot of times he has plenty of time, and it for whatever reason either he doesn't see it or it's not there, and he will. I can't believe a quarterback when he runs to the sidelines and he sees he's going to get tackled, you just don't throw the ball away. But Jalen Hurts does do that. I noticed Jordan Love, stupidity. I mean, they tackled him for a loss, and he could have just thrown the ball. You can just, as long as you get past the line of scrimmage, just throw the ball. You know, you can throw it into the 10th row if you want to. But Jalen Hurts does do that. So if he gets out of the pocket and he knows there's nothing there, he's going to get rid of the football and not take a loss for the most time. I'm concerned that these issues, the issues of not being effective offensively. What did they score? Who did they play the first game? I forget who they played.
Cowboys.
The Cowboys. And the Cowboys stink, and they only scored 24 points.
Cowboys just got dusted by Chicago.
Yeah, I know. They only scored 24 points, only 3 in the second half.
Yeah. The Cowboys not a good football team.
No. And so how do they people will say, well, the first 4 games are really just preseason because they don't play anybody. That may be the case, but other teams are doing a good job with their game, and they haven't played players much. Kansas City played their starters every game. They are, I'll say this, I think Kansas City's a average to mediocre football team.
They are, with an exceptional quarterback.
Yes. Who's not getting it done because the rest of the team's really not that good.
They don't have enough skilled players around him right now. That they've gone too far over the edge the other way. You brought something up here. I got to tell you, man, best defensive tackle on the football field right now is Jordan Davis right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing really good ball. Actually, if you look at it, I thought Carter played okay. He wasn't great. He did have that blocked field goal too. But outside of that, they had 160 yards rushing. I know a lot of it was that stretch play, but still the Rams were able to move the ball. They got it up the field a little bit. But I thought Jordan Davis the last 3 weeks, he's been their best D tackle. That's got to be a plus for the Eagles, seeing that him playing the way they thought he could.
Well, let's Jalen Carter for dealing with him first. Vic Fangio said last week that he's overweight.
Yeah.
So he's got to lose some weight. Jordan Davis did. It's interesting. And Jordan Davis he was responsible. He lost weight. He worked out. Contract here. Isn't that
Yep.
amazing?
Yeah.
In a contract, why couldn't you do that before? You could say he matured, but he's done a really, really nice job.
That's always been my criticism of him. I'm like this. It only took you 4 years to realize that being fat is hurting you and not you being able to be in the best shape. Because I'll tell you what, the way he runs, for as big as he runs, it's very few people I've ever seen run like that. He's never really lived up to his athleticism. And we're starting to see a little bit of the production.
Yes.
Okay, get this, Howard. This guy in 4 years at Georgia had 9 sacks. That's not productive.
No.
Okay. And 33 tackles he had something like in a year. And that's not productive. We're finally seeing him a little bit now, living up to some of that ability that he does have. It's never matched. We're seeing a little bit of that now.
We're seeing a lot more than a little bit. He's really doing a nice job playing for a contract. If he keeps on playing this way, I guess there's a way to kind of manipulate the cap if you sign him by the 8th game or the 9th game or somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And you could put it on this year, whatever you have left, you could put on this year and then spread it down the road. So he keeps playing like this.
Plus put 2 void years on the back end. You can load it down and then restructure in 3 years.
Yeah. Nobody worries about the money at the end.
No, because it's phony money.
Yeah. You got to pay it somewhere, but it is phony money as far as the cap's concerned. But you got to pay it
because by the time you get to that void years, you're restructuring if you like the guy.
Yeah. So if you do it midway through the season, you just hope he continues to play the way he had been playing if you're doing it that way. I don't think you want to wait till the end, because at that point it might cost you a lot more, because there's going to be other teams. I don't think the agents don't talk to other teams when they're not allowed to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, AJ Brown, is he the best wide receiver in Eagle history?
Wow. Probably is. Yeah, now players are more athletic. I think of Mike Quick, but Mike Quick wasn't as fast. He was athletic before he got hurt.
You think he's better than T.O.?
Oh, I didn't think of T.O.
Wasn't here long enough to have a. See, the reason I asked it that way was because I didn't ask who had the best Eagle career. I said, who was the best Eagle receiver? That's why I wanted to put T.O. in it. You think he's better than T.O.?
If he's not, he's 1A.
Okay.
But he's 1A. He's got a little more speed than T.O., although he's not what I would call A.J. Brown fast.
Right.
And he might have better hands than T.O. He might have a little better.
A lot of footballs.
Yeah, those contested throws, he gets them. I don't know that T.O. got all of them. T.O. was probably what, a couple inches taller than
a little bit, like 6'3", something like that, 6'3" and a
half. But A.J. Brown is stronger, so they're right there together. And T.O. was basically, you just say 1 year, so it's hard to see what he would have done beyond that. But he's probably just a little bit better than T.O., but not much. You could put either one of them 1 or 1A.
How do you think Jalen Hurts is playing in the first 3 games?
Well, if you exclude the first half yesterday, I guess he's playing, if you give him a grade, a C+ or a B-?
Okay.
Would you be better than that?
No, I'd probably be in there. I mean, I don't think he played very well in the Kansas City game. I thought he did enough, and I thought he moved around like 22 Hurts in the Dallas game.
Yep.
I thought if he doesn't play like that the way he played in the second half, there's not a chance in hell they win the ball game.
But they're not asking him to do a lot either. So
no, they're not. And that's
part of it too.
That's right. Again, the straitjacket stuff where they're kind of keeping him in a box. I mean, it's limiting him. You know what I think too, Howard? I think the way they limit him, I think that also limits his development. If you're limiting a quarterback, right, and to try to develop him, and you're limiting him.
Yeah, but he's gotten better.
How are you?
He has gotten better.
No. It's a winning formula.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about, like we are talking about, the sacks, being hit, the turnovers when they have high volume.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that their formula is not working. They're 19-1.
I know the results. Well, here, when you break down, okay, what's the best part of the Eagles team? Eagles fans, get over it. Just go back and boo, and when you want to boo and do whatever you want to do, but leave me alone. All right, so I'm telling you, it's just the offensive line might be, or it was. Let's see what continue this year. The best part of this football team. So that makes Saquon Barkley, who's very good, better. Once Saquon Barkley gets to the second level, then
it's over.
Yeah, then it's over. But he's not getting to the second level now. But they were getting into the second level. So if you look at the past, just let's eliminate these 3 games. The offensive line, Saquon Barkley. You have one of the top 3, maybe top 2 receivers as a pair in the NFL. And although there's some really good wide receivers out there. So when you look at all that, then you look at the defense that was giving you a lot of times good field position. So what is the best part of this football team? Offensive line, the running back. Then I'd go Jalen Hurts, and then the defense. So I think he's gotten better. Matter of fact, I know he's gotten better because he really had trouble making it through the progressions. But he's doing a much better job now. He's not one of the top 5. He's not one of the top 5. And these people just, the fans just won't get over it. Who cares where he ranks as a quarterback?
Troy Aikman was not a top 5.
I know. It's winning games.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. I don't give a damn where he ranks as a quarterback. All these people, he's a top 5. Yeah. He's not top 5, but he's top 7. Top 7.
Yeah, he's in there. He is in there. Howard, finally here. Buccaneers and Eagles, in your opinion, how do you see this thing? Is thing close again like we've seen the first 3 games?
I'm surprised the Eagles, when I looked last night, and I don't know if it changed today, they're 2.5 point. The Eagles are 2.5 point favorites.
That'll probably come down a little.
You would think, but I don't know. I don't know that I would go. The line's kind of jumping out at me. It's actually up to 3.5 now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I would look at the Eagles. Why is the line sometimes jumps out at you and say, why is the line like that?
Because
the way they play.
Mike Evans is banged up and they don't know right now, but I'm going to tell you, they haven't been released. It hasn't been released yet, but Tristan Wirfs and Chris Godwin are going to play this weekend. They're going to play. Okay. So that's not been released. I think the first report comes out tomorrow and they'll be listed as questionable from what I understand.
When I see that line, I'm saying, my gosh.
Remember, home team gets 3, so it's almost like
not anymore. I mean, it's done by computers. It's not a slam dunk that the home team gets more because good teams. Actually, I'll talk to an odds maker. They don't get the 3 anymore, but still, it's still a big number to lay on the road.
And look at the games that they've won. They beat the Jets, they beat the Falcons, and they beat the Texans. I mean, we're not talking about superstar football teams here. You know what I mean? I mean, we're talking. I mean, they limped. They barely. I mean, they had like a 23-6 lead going into the fourth quarter, and they ended up laying an egg in that thing. So, I mean,
the Chiefs will be underdogs at home for 2 of the first 4 games of the season. Now,
I've never heard of such a thing.
Actually, the first 2 games they played. They played only 1 game at home. They were an underdog against the Eagles, and now they're an underdog against the Ravens next week. Wow.
Well, I think that sounds right there. Howard, who do you got coming up on the show?
All right. I got James Brown, who's the host of the NFL Today.
Love him. Make sure you tell him hi for me.
I will.
I
Okay.
love that man.
But I'm doing it live on Tuesday night. I'll replay it on Wednesday because I wanted to fit it into his schedule.
Yep.
I didn't realize that he has worked in every sport, every professional sport, football, baseball,
Yeah.
hockey, and basketball.
Yep.
It's amazing how
Sweetest
well.
guy on the planet too. Just a
Oh,
sweetheart.
he's a great guy. So we're going to do that Tuesday night at 7:30 live, and of course you'll be able to see it on Wednesday and anytime after that. But it'll be fascinating. I just there's a lot of things I want to ask him, and he told me he's going to be really honest about it too.
Well, he is one of the best men that I've ever worked with. When I was out in Los Angeles, I worked with him at Fox Sports, and he was always gracious. He was always
the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sean
I've probably known him for about 15 years, Dan.
I'll tell you this. Get this. I grew up with Sean McManus, and Sean McManus was the chairman of CBS Sports.
Yeah.
But obviously his father's Jim McKay. And so when I was younger, he went to Fairfield Prep and I went to Stanford Catholic. And he and I grew up with one another. This is the craziest thing you've ever seen in your life or heard, Howard. This is how I got involved in broadcasting. So Jim McKay would come back from, I don't know, like Lillehammer or something. And there he is up in the stands with my uncle, Andy Robustelli. And they're sitting up there. And I'm looking up. There's Jim McKay at my football game. And then we would go fishing. I became fishing. And then get this. I said I wanted to get into broadcasting as I got out of professional sports. I went to school for broadcasting at Miami. So he goes, go see my friend Rune Arledge.
Wait a minute. You're a football player. You actually went to school?
Well, I figured that broadcasting could give me a couple, broadcasting or broadcasting or basket weaving. I put those two in the same room. So I said, one sounds better than the other one. So I took, instead of the basket weaving, I took the broadcasting. They got a fat mouth anyway. So Rune Arledge sent me over to Jack O'Hare. So I started meeting all these guys, and Gifford played with Robustelli and them. So those guys were so instrumental in me becoming a part of. I was going to become part of ABC Sports, and then I met all them guys, and that's how I met James Brown years and years ago, because he was getting started, and he called one of my games, Buccaneers and Packers, up in Green Bay. Just such a great guy.
Terrific guy.
Terrific guy. I can't wait to watch that. Howard, should be interesting game this week. The 3-0 Bucks will take on the 3-0 Eagles in Tampa. We got to do this again, man. If we can next week, I'd love to have you on.
Yeah, no problem. Always a pleasure. Always try to put it into my schedule.
Thank you so much, Howard. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you again.
And get off Kevin Petullo.
No way, man. I mean, the only reason I might get off his ass is because he's Italian. Other than that,
it's favorite. So it has mob ties here. It's got mob ties.
Oh yes, I'm very biased when it comes to Italians, especially Paisans who have an O in their name. So Marino, De Niro, Sileo. I'm good. I'm ready to rock.
I got you. No problem.
Howard, thank you, my friend.
See ya.
You got it, Howard Eskin. Make sure you guys check out his fabulous show. What an absolutely great guy, man. I appreciate it. All right, guys. We're going to read some of those super chats now. Guys, do me a favor, please hit that like button. We're going to have Gary Cobb. That'll be at the bottom of the hour here. If you could please do me a favor, Xander, let's see some of those supers that we had during here, okay? 7 10-time players play their best in a contract year, then are poop when they get the bag. You mean like Ezekiel Elliott? I think that's exactly what Howard Eskin was saying. Oh, wow, it's a contract year. He laid off the White Castle burgers, and he's ready to go out and play? How you doing? That's what we said, too. Holy cow. I mean, the guy knows it's a contract year. But then again, man, he's playing really good football. He is. We got a fraud alert at OC. Uh-oh. That MF number 1 has King Kong nuts. No Diddy. Yeah. He told Buffalo, Kevin Buffalo, Howard would not like that. Kevin Buffalo to sit back and watch them work. There's no way they go back to the conservative bullshit, according to Juice. I happen to agree with Howard, John McMullen. I don't believe they're going to go back. And I don't believe all of a sudden what they saw in the second half. I do not believe they're all of a sudden going to have some epiphany. And they're going to go and say, well, hey, let's go. What we saw in the second half of the Rams game. No way, man. No way. Super chats go to the top here. Okay? Whole offense yelled at him. Patullo is a liability. Gotcha. 7 to 10 times players play their best in a contract year. Absolutely true. No doubt about it. Can't wait to hear Gary Cobb in this thing. Okay? I love Cooper, but has he taken a step back? Haven't heard much of him in the first 3 games. What? Cooper DeJean? Mr. Party Animal? The guy hanging out with the Hoochie Mamas over in Wildwood? That guy? No. No way. You kidding me? What do you mean? Him hanging out? I haven't heard him have an impact. I thought he was good in that Chiefs game. Thought he was good in the Chiefs game. Got to give credit where credit's due. Pafulo is pretty funny. That is. Whoa. Cooper DeJean is having a sophomore slump. Really? What would ever give that away? Let's see here. Cooper, the wide receiver. You're probably talking about. That's what you're saying there. It's all right. I haven't heard anything about getting burnt on TDs either. Well, Sills, I know, think Q got beat, but I don't know. Adams got locked the fuck up in the second half. There's 4 quarters to a football and 2 halves to a game. Are you really dissecting getting beat? Coop is fine. Sophomore slump, are you kidding me? Why, because he's not playing all pro? I didn't say. And by the way, you guys, I saw somebody post something. I got Hurts 5. I've got him 5. Now, if you're going to gauge the quarterbacks, we'll do that tomorrow. This year, 2025, he's not a top 5. He's not playing top 5 football. Then again, I don't really see a lot of great guys playing great ball at the position. I mean, who? Daniel Jones? I get it. He has played great. Look what happens when Shane Steichen gets a style of quarterback and he finally gets a quarterback that can deliver what he wants. Both are being tested. Hold on here. By the way, Adoree Jackson had a pretty good game. Blankenship looks to be the problem in the secondary. Huh. Didn't I tell you that him not playing next to Gardner Johnson would play a factor? You don't remember that, do you? You don't remember me telling you. How do you think he's going to play with no Gardner Johnson next to him? You guys are like, well, he'll be better. Well, Gardner Johnson was the better safety last year. Seals, any insight into Davis and Carter did differently on those blocks? Could we see it more often? Or was it the Rams kicker allowing that? I think there was something that was said between the two guys and lining up next to each other. Dude, between the two guys, I mean, you're talking about almost 700 pounds a man with two dudes. You talk about pushing the pile? They did. Both of them resulted in getting 2 blocks in the game. Great players need great players around them. Correct. Who said Blankenship's a great player? You guys think he's a great player. I kept telling you that's not a $15 million a year guy. That's not. That's not a $15 million a year guy. She's definitely said that about Reed. Yeah, I think he's replaceable. Like, he's not exceptional. Wait a minute. I'd like to have him. I'm not paying that guy north of $9 million. No fucking way. I think that's high. You pay that guy. Does that guy look a $9 million player to you? I'd pay that guy $7 million, $5 million. Shit, he's not. I don't see that. 12, 13. I'll find another guy. Hey, another thing just in. Like I told you, Sidney Brown can't tackle. He's not very good. Seals, isn't AJ just so impressive as a wideout? He is. If you just give him a chance, he dominates. That's why I said, hey, Umberto, I said this. Force the fucker to him. Force the football to him. Well, I don't want to force anything. Fuck that. Force it to him. Are you crazy? Hey, wait. That's what people were telling us from the podium. I kept telling you guys the entire offseason, they're not giving that guy a contract. They're not. They're going to wait until after the season to make that call. He can't tackle. He's terrible in space. Dude, I didn't address this. So, the taunting penalty by Jalen Carter was fucking a stupid call. Those refs, do you see the thing that Puka Nacua did? So he flexed, and they gave him an unsportsmanlike. It was so stupid. They didn't want the game to get out of hand. And then Jalen Carter was walking off the field, right? He turned around and he started doing some bullshit, and the refs called him on an unsportsmanlike. Do you know that if he keeps doing this shit, they're going to keep finding him more, and eventually they're going to suspend him for multiple offenses. And he's going to get a 6-game suspension. If he keeps this shit up and the refs are looking for him, it's going to get to a point where the league's going to come in and suspend his ass. He's not off to a very good start this year. Davis is. The long snapper literally whiffed and left Jordan untouched on that last field goal. Excellent for you guys. Yeah, Jalen Carter's not having a good start to his year. Says, you hear Nick Bosa tore his ACL. That's a big loss. Is he gone for the year? I would assume, right? Nick Bosa tore his ACL. See you next fall. See you next fall. He's done. Yeah. Seals, what's wrong with Carter's arm? Why is he not talking about it? Well, I don't buy there's anything there. Or he'd be on the injury list. Either you're hurt or you're not. League is wanting players to play with zero emotion like robots. I thought it was bullshit. And by the way, I didn't think what Jalen Carter did was bad. But dude, they're looking for you. You got to be bigger than that. They're looking for you right now, and they see you as an asshole. Every year is different, no? Do you think Q not being a stationary corner this year affects the play of Reed? Absolutely. And you know what else affects the play of Reed? Not having Slay on the other side. You got half your secondary gone on really good players. You thought you were just Keely Ringo, Sidney, Makuba. Makuba was a non-factor in that game. And John Campbell was a non-factor in that game. Now, they're rookies. I give them the hall passes. They're good. It's okay. They're learning. They're getting more. I'll say this to you. Him dropping in coverage, Campbell, No way is he better than Dean. I saw him dropping in coverage, try to cover some of those wideouts coming across the middle of the field, and the tight end. He was not very good. Officiating was terrible in the game. I will give you that. Absolutely true. Sills, these taunting penalties are getting ridiculous. Well, Anthony, if you know that, I'm going to have a guy like Gary Cobb sitting behind me in the huddle going, you know what Gary's going to tell me, being a 10-year veteran? Sileo, don't be a fucking dumbass. Know that these guys are looking at you. He's going to hit me on the helmet and go, don't do anything dumb. They've got the radar for you. Make sure you know that anything that is said, even if you're just excited, they're going to call you for an unsportsmanlike penalty. And if you keep it up enough, Troy Vincent's going to call your ass, and they're going to suspend you if you keep getting these things. All right, before I get G Cobb on, I'm going to say it one more time to you, man. That's the worst half of football I've ever seen Philadelphia play in my time covering your team. Holy shit, was that brutal. So all of a sudden, let me get this right. Kevin Patullo had an epiphany in the second half. I ain't buying that. Somebody was calling plays in the second half, and it wasn't that dude. Did Jalen take more onus of the offense? And AJ and them guys would just go, get me the ball. Because it sure looked it. I mean, Bobo Patullo, his buddy, sitting on the sideline there. There he was. AJ and Jalen in his ass. Hey, dude, where we going here? And here, one more before I get Gary on. This was the first game that the edge rushers were exposed. The Rams had 160 yards rushing in this game, and they were running the stretch play. A lot of those yards were not up the middle. They were the stretch plays. That had a lot to do with Lane being out. Okay, I mean, and when you see that, you know it also on the other side. So get this, Gary Cobb, before we bring in, if you take Jalen Hurts' 40 yards out, they ran the ball for 86 yards. The Eagles. On the other side, you gave up 160. So you have a problem defending the run and running it. Two things that make you great. Let's bring in the man from Fox 29, 10-year veteran, our friend G Cobb. G Cobb, man, tale of two halves. Boy, I'll tell you, man, if you're relying on Jason Kelce to drop a pass and a guy to get a blocked field goal, and you're in games where you have that kind of talent, I don't know. You come out of that game 3-0, which is the best part of this. How did you see this, and give me your takeaways on what you saw here on Sunday?
Well, the start of the game, I mean, you hit it on the head. I mean, the first half was just putrid. I mean, it just smelled because, you didn't see an aggressive offense. You couldn't throw the ball, or you can't run the ball. Really, they dominated, and I knew that I expected that the Rams were going to come out and play well because they've been thinking about this game. This is something which they felt like they were a team that they had really played the Eagles as well as anybody. Really, the toughest matches the Eagles had in the playoffs. The toughest match was against the Rams. The Rams were in the game. The Rams had the football and were marching with a chance to win the game. But the Eagles stopped them, and they were able to win. But the Rams were right there in the game. Some of those other games, they were blowouts. But the game they played against the Rams, that was a hard-fought game that went down to the wire. So,
Gary, I think the Rams have closed the gap, from the first one a year ago, then the playoff game, and then what we saw yesterday.
Yeah,
I think if you're the Rams, you're coming out of that. You were too conservative on the field goals, but if you're Sean McVay, man, I mean, I think you feel pretty good about yourself coming out of that football game because it was more you giving the game up than it was the Eagles. The Eagles, they took the game from you because you allowed them to take the game from you.
Yeah, and the Eagles did, they made the plays down the stretch and everything, but for most of that game was dominated by the Rams. It wasn't just where they were winning.
Right.
No, they were dominating the game. They were running the ball down the Eagles' throat, and they shut down Barkley. Saquon wasn't doing anything. So, the Eagles go into every game where they're trying to run the ball, and they continue to try to run it without success. And so, they got to talk about what they're doing. They got to, because the Rams were able to match everything that they did. But in the second half, they got going with the passing game and some of the one-on-one matchups, where AJ was able to take advantage of some things, and they were able to get that passing game going. And Jalen, he was making good decisions about where he's going with the ball and everything. But they got certain matchups, which they have people that they expect to win a one-on-one matchup, both, AJ and Devontae. So, they were going to them with success. It's not like they were just killing the Rams, but they were able to get some big plays, and they got the passing attack going and everything. But the Rams, I got to give them credit. They're a good football team.
That's a good team.
They're a good team, and they're a team that if I look at the rest of the NFC, I don't see who else I put up there that high, next to the Eagles. So I'd say the Rams they're going to have to deal with the Rams again.
Gary, for me, you tell me what you've seen. Saquon Barkley just doesn't look the same. Now, is it the personnel around him? Like you take the yardage away from the quarterback getting yards in the last couple games. They're under 100 yards in 3 of the 4 games.
Yeah.
And yesterday they only had 46 yards rushing with somebody not named Jalen Hurts as a unit. You're telling me you have the best O-line. Well, the quarterback was getting destroyed. I get it. Lane went out. That was a huge deal. But that was coming from the backside. And that was Mulatto over there giving up one of those. And then also Barkley missed the block, which almost got him decapitated. What's going on with him, the O-line? They're not playing well.
They're not playing well. That's what it comes down to right now. They got to step up their game. I know that going into, I don't know, they've lost their focus or whatever it is, but they have not played as well. I think that they have to admit that, and really the fact that they're 3-0,
incredibly great.
That's a miracle. Come on,
miracle. It's wonderful
because they could have lost each one of them. Really, each game. You look at the Cowboys game. CD Lamb, he personally gave that game to the Eagles.
Well, think about it, Gary. Every team had the last opportunity to win it.
Yeah.
Wasn't like they blew a team out with the talent.
No.
They should have. Dallas is not very good.
Yeah.
Kansas City is limited, and the team you played yesterday is a really good team, and they kicked your ass for 3 quarters. 2.5 quarters. 2.5 quarters, they kicked your ass. Really, in theory, they've really probably only played a half of a football game at best.
And that says what they're capable of too.
That's correct.
They were able to win those games despite the fact that they did not play dominant football. Now, the good thing about it is, look, they got room for improvement.
Completely true.
They got to play better. They know they got to play better. Come on. When I could see the guys in the locker room, they were happy, but then they had that look on their face. They know. You know what Mondays are when you know what you put on tape and you got to hear your coach in your ear. Yeah. We can't play. We got to play better than this. What is such and such? What is going on? What is this here? And they're just grilling you, and talking and being honest though, because they know you got to play better if you want to get to where you want to get to. You guys are going to have to play better. And I will say this, that I guess the biggest thing that I looked at is that, Jalen was putting that ball on the money to his guys, making good decisions. And really, that's really what got him back into the game.
What was the difference from the first half and second half, in your opinion? Was it they were forcing the ball to AJ and it was working?
Well, in some ways with one-on-one, they basically saying, almost coming out saying, hey, well, look, if we see you one-on-one, we're going to you.
Like what was the biggest, what changed the curtain? You go out, it's like you change clothes.
Well, in the first half, they were continuing to try to run the ball. You know, they continued. You know, we're running the ball. They come out that we're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball. And I think they got to get to the point where, look, if people are going to put all those people up there, you got to throw the football.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's as simple as that. And, you know, every time, whether it's during the practice, I mean, during the week when they talk or after the game, I'm sitting there every time with A.J. Brown. He's been, you know, putting tape over his mouth, you know, to try not to say. Now, you know, sometimes people take things the wrong way. You know, of course, we know about Michael Irvin years ago. I mean, a great player is going, come on, he wants the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, and you want him to want the ball. Do you want a great player where they don't want the ball? No. They want to be able to make plays for the team, and they want to win. It's not where they want to just get all. They figure, this guy cannot handle me. And really, that's what A.J. Brown showed, is that, you know, maybe the guy could run with him, but the guy's half his size. Man, get out of the way, you know? And that's what he can do. The guys that are his size.
Barkley looks like New York Giants Barkley right now.
Well, you know, they are stacking the box, though. You know, they got people up there. You know, you got extra guys coming up there, and they're saying we're not going to let the Eagles run on us. And you know, at times, you know, you got an extra guy up there, and plus they're attacking the line of scrimmage.
They are.
They're saying we are not going to let these guys run the ball. And if they want to commit like that, you need to throw the ball and chew them up through the air and make them pay. Now, I hope, you know, hey, yeah, they stopped Saquon, but they went home with an L. You know? Yeah. And that's what a good team has got to do. You know, you're playing against pros. These are not kids off the street. These guys are pros. And if they stack the box, they can say, we're going to stop. We're not going to let Saquon beat us. But then again, we're going to be vulnerable to the pass. Okay, you guys want to be vulnerable to the pass? Okay, well, guess what? Congratulations, you stopped Saquon, but we're going to put a 50 on you, you know? And that's what they need to do, is to have that kind of attitude and make people pay. If they think that they got a corner that can handle our receivers, fine, because most of them don't. They don't. Those corners cannot play man-to-man and cover those guys. So you got to make people pay. And they really need to just take off all the reps and tell them, look, we want to be aggressive. Jalen, if you see opportunities out there, we want you to check out of it, throw the football. You know, because if teams we're going to stop Barkley, you can't keep on running. And, you know, if you got 8 people there in that box, you can't. It's not real.
You're running into a wall. You're running into a wall, right? You're just running into a wall here.
Running right into a wall. That's right.
I got to ask you, man. Let's go over to the defensive side.
Yeah.
That's got to be Jordan Davis's best game that he's had as an Eagle.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. You know, and, you know, I got to give him credit, you know, in that he has put in the work. You know, he's a different player. He's capable of running more because he is an outstanding athlete. But, you know, the big thing is when you're carrying all that weight and he's as big as he is, you know, like somebody said, well, he lost weight. Yeah, he lost weight, but he's still huge.
He's still 338 and he lost weight.
And
he lost 20 pounds, Gary. He lost 20 pounds and he's still 340.
I know. And when he goes, you know, like when you go in the locker room, you stand up, you're looking up at this dude, man. You know,
I know. He's gargantuan.
But you know, the kid, you know, he's growing up. And this is good for him. I mean, like they drafted him in the first round and they wanted him to come in and he's become a better player. He's a better pass rusher than he was. You know, he shows that out there at practice, like during the training camp. You know, he's beating guys because he's going to the line of scrimmage with a plan. You know, he used to go to the line of scrimmage. I'm just going to push the guy back. That's not pass rushing, man. You got to have a game plan. You're going to attack one side. How are you going to do it? Because he's got the long arms. He got an arm advantage on guys, and he's strong as can be. So he's got the ability to do it, but he's got to up here. And he talks it now. Like when there are times when I talk to him, you know, he talks like where he's thinking about how he's going to beat this guy and how he's going to attack the blocker and everything. And, he's growing into a professional pass rusher. And I think he's gonna get better because he's working on it. They work during the week. He's working to get some good pass blockers, and he's learning to go there with a game plan, just like you're a good player in other games. You go with the game plan. And
hey, Gary, it is a contract year, so let's hey, it is a contract year. They only picked up the 5th-year option, so
yeah.
You always get marvelous things. So maybe this was a motivator by Howie. Hey, we want you here. We think you can play instead of giving you the 3-year deal.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the best thing they ever sent message to him, that they don't not like the player.
Yeah.
They just want the player to be more serious and grow up a bit. And maybe that's how the message was sent to him. Hey, look, we want you. Mm-hmm. Here's some money here. Here's the 5th year. But we're not going to extend you yet until you show us. And he is. He is.
It was fair because they could have cut him. If they'd have wanted to,
or
but
traded him.
They see the talent, they see the potential, and the fact that he is, treating the whole thing like a professional, realizing that he can't do like he did in college at times where you're just running over people. You're not going to run over the guys at this level. No. You've got to have a game plan, and he's starting to put that together, and you're starting to see what kind of athlete he is, because he is extraordinary for the size he is. The kid can move, and I think that he's got room to get better, and then it's good because you got some competition there with him and Jalen. That they are.
Harry, I don't really think has had a really great start to his year so far.
Outside
of that blocked field goal. I thought he was okay yesterday. I don't think he was great. And obviously,
I would agree.
He was okay. Then he got thrown out in the Cowboy game. So, not really a great – the best defensive tackle interior has been Davis.
You're right. He's played better than Carter. I would agree with that. And but it's good because you got some competition. For him to play like that, it kind of pushes Jalen some. And Jalen needs some pushing, And you got to watch, living off what you did previously. We all play the game. You've had some success. You can waltz out there, whistling and hey, it's a piece of cake. No, because they won the Super Bowl. So every team that plays them, they got that game circled because they know if they want to get accomplishments and regarded on a higher level, beat the Eagles. You come and beat the Eagles, and we're going to go, hey, man, these guys took it to the Eagles, man. Look at this. If a guy wants to get respect, he knows. Beat the team that won the championship, and that's what teams are going to do. And they're going to get teams' best game, meaning like the Rams came in there. They had a game plan for them. They were attacking them with their offensively, they were attacking them. And they can expect they're going to get that out of everybody because, you won the championship. This goes along with the championship. You're going to get everybody's best effort. And they got to know that.
Hey, how about this? I just got a text message from Clint Hurt. So supposedly today, when they were in the locker room, he got done talking to the media and he was getting ready to go in. And Nick called him over. And, embraced him and start talking. And they were talking about supposedly it all was over. Hey, man, I want to thank you for not blowing up the last couple of weeks. I know you've been frustrated, but you were a superstar on Sunday, this and that. I got to tell you, man, I think AJ's showing a lot of leadership, man, because he could really be a dick right now if he wanted to.
Yeah.
On how that offense is not looking good. It's only really played 2 quarters.
That's right.
You got to remember, man, he doesn't, he gets clumped in with all the rest of those wideouts.
Yep.
And all the wideouts are always wanting the ball. Sometimes I feel some of these wideouts would rather have the numbers than the wins. And I think he's got to look because we get paid on production, Gary. Players don't really get paid on wins. You and me get paid on how we produce, the numbers we put up, how many games we play, percentage of plays. It's not really about wins. And so I think AJ's shown a lot of leadership, don't you?
He has.
I think he really has.
He really, and he's been, he doesn't want to. He didn't, and he said it. He doesn't want to. Emphasize it's not just about him. He wants to win. As long as they're winning, we want to win. At the same time, he knew, like in those earlier games, look, I want to win. We're not going to keep winning if we don't. If they don't get me in this offense and get the ball to me, give me some opportunity to contribute, because I can hurt this other team and really open things up for everybody. So, he goes it, but he's been very level-headed about it. And of course, it hasn't been the easiest thing to do when you know the ability you have.
Yeah.
And you're not getting the opportunity to do that. So hopefully, we're going to see more and more of that. And but you talked about the who's calling the plays and all that. Now
who called the plays in the second half?
I can't say that I know.
So let me expand on that then. So Nick Sirianni tells everybody, this is my offense no matter who the coordinator is, and I oversee the mentality. All right? So to get over, if that's Nick, is Nick the one putting the straitjacket on Hurts? And is Nick the one putting the straitjacket on Kevin Patullo? Because, Gary, the second half was night and day.
I think to a degree they were. They want to, like they did last year, which is utilizing Saquon and giving Saquon the ball and everything. But, people have been stacking the box. They're putting people up there. We're not going to let him get going. Now, you eventually have got to get a point. If people want to put that many people up there, the reason you went out, you got a guy making $34 million, wide receiver, another one making $25 million.
Yeah,
you got the tight end making 14 or whatever. You got to let them do their job. And of course, you got a quarterback making 50. Look, we got to be able to move if they want to bring all these people up here, we got to be able to throw the ball on these guys. And if we can't, then we need to get new people in here. So they got to be aggressive. They got to go ahead and attack people through the air and throw the ball. They can't say, oh, no, we're a running team. We're running. Look, if they're going to stack the box, you got to play smart football, and so I expect to see them throwing the ball more. I hope that, they that it was, whoever it was calling the plays. I don't know. But I do know.
You think Chandler just said, hey, look, I'm going to take more emphasis of this thing here?
I think that he and probably the other guy said, look, man, we got to throw the ball. These guys are coming up here. This got nothing to do with Saquon. Look, they got three guys in the backfield. The time he touches the ball, we're going to try to run the ball against, this all these guys in the got 8 guys in here in the box, man. Come on. We got to throw the ball on these guys because we can, and we could hurt them because I think some of the passes and everything and the consistency of the way they were able to move the ball in the second half, throwing the ball shows them they got to throw the ball until people say, okay, all right, we're not going to put all these people in the box. You got to throw the ball on them, and you got to be able to where they give Jalen, I think they probably just gave him the freedom to say, look, we're going to call some of these run plays. You're able to check out of it. You see all those guys up there, check out of it, throw the ball. And that's pro football. Come on. You're not playing, like when I was at USC, let's say we go out, we play in this little school. It don't matter. Come on.
That's not San Jose, not San Jose State, right? Not JAKIB. You're not playing San Jose State here. I got it.
That's right. So you got to play, what is regarded as fundamentals, which is if they're going to stack this box, we're going to throw the ball on you, and you're going to make you pay too. We're going to make you pay for it. And you got receivers, and you went out, you got quality receivers. You got a quarterback that can get the ball to them. You got to go ahead and do it earlier, where you're not still trying to run the ball against that stacked box. No, we're going to make you get out of that because we put 21 points on the board or however much by the half. And so the other team's got to say, we got to play them honest. We're going to get blown out if we keep staying up there, letting them throw the ball like that. So, and they have good enough passing attack to be able to do that. So they got to be more aggressive and realize people are going to stack the box. We're going to throw the ball.
Finally, last one here for you. How do you think the defense has played in the first 3 weeks?
They got to get better. They haven't had a consistent pass rush,
right?
The run defense, that run defense was awful there. They were letting the Rams just gouge them with
160.
They gotta play much better. Just that simple. Guys got to get off blocks. I'm gonna go look at it again. I didn't really get a good look at it like I want to.
How do you think Bond played?
I didn't see him making a lot of plays against that run. I didn't see him getting in there. I think that
more Campbell. I thought I didn't see those guys at all in that game, really, until the second half when they needed some 3 and outs.
Yeah.
They got some 3 and outs late in the game again, like they did against Kansas City. But
that's right. They started attacking the line of scrimmage. Yeah. But they got to play better. I think it's very obvious that they know that. And we'll see if they do it or not, because they got to play much better than that. You can't be letting somebody run for 100 almost 200 yards on you. You can't. You're not going to win in the NFL like that. And then throwing when they want to throw, and you can't stop that either. So they know they got their work cut out for them, and they're going to get everybody's best effort. And they're going to get the other team's best game plan too. Meaning they looked at what they're going to do, and they know they're going to get after him. So, that's what goes along with being champions.
You know what? I said this too, Gary. I went like this. I think they're playing C- C football.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody in Philadelphia starts moaning and crying. And I'm like, wait, if you think they're playing A+ football, that means there's no room for improvement.
That's right.
When we're saying that they're playing and they're 3-0 and they're playing this way and they're coaching in some situations like this, my opinion, that's a great thing that they're playing C, because if they're playing the best ball and that's the best of their ability, you got problems, man. I mean, bigger problems. I think a lot of this stuff is self-inflicted. You know what I mean? I mean, getting in shape, better situational play calling, getting healthier in some spots, and maybe just more reps, right?
So I think more reps. The whole thing is, of course, on the offensive side, you do have execution.
You do.
They show that they can execute that passing game, and go out and be effective. Defensively, they got to decide who's going to be up front. Like, who's the first unit up there? Maybe some of the guys they thought they're not as good as
Matt Pryor does not belong in that starting lineup.
Who did you say?
Matt Pryor does not belong in that starting lineup.
Correct. Yeah. Well, that was obvious. Like that he definitely is not ready for the big boys. So,
and Gary, on the defensive side, I think those edges were exposed a little bit because they ran that stretch play.
I think when a team starts running at somebody, aren't they telling you something?
Yeah, they're weak there.
They were running those outside zones.
Yep.
And they kept running them. It was very obvious, and I didn't see anybody really stop them real good. So they're telling you, those guys out there, they're kind of doing you a favor, telling you, this is what we think is the weakest thing you got out there, and run like that. So, by the end of the season, or as the season goes along, there are going to be changes. You're going to see people, all those get other opportunities to see if a guy can do better than some of the guys that are out there, and they've been very fortunate. But they know they're going to have to play much better if they want to achieve what they want to achieve this season. And you're going to see some changes as the season goes on.
All right. This weekend is Buccaneers. The Bucs have kicked their ass the last 2 times. They're a little banged up in the O-line. The Eagles are a little banged up in the offensive line. Todd Bowles seems to be the kryptonite to Jalen Hurts when it comes to pressure. And I'll tell you one thing we've seen a lot of, Gary. There's been a lot of pressure on Hurts in that pocket.
That's right.
And he's been back there, and he's been getting a hit a lot.
Yes.
You think this game's going to be a coin flip game by the time this thing starts up on Sunday? It's 2 3-0 football teams. there's only 6 teams now in the league that are undefeated, and there's 2 of them that'll be playing on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the winner of this game, you could theoretically come out of and go like this. Well, here's the best team in the NFC. Them and the Rams. I put the Rams in there too, like you said.
Yep. I think so. I think that that this is going to be a tough game. When somebody beats you the way Tampa Bay has the last few times.
The weather.
Oh yeah, you're right. The weather, because the guys were sucking air pretty good in one of those other games. So this is going to be a challenge. But they knew this, but they're getting what they knew was going to come because they won the championship. Everybody's circling. Okay, we're playing the Super Bowl champs this week. We're working on that game plan. We're going to start working on it in April.
Yeah.
You know the way those guys are. So they're looking at all your tape. They're making sure they got a good game plan for that game. And they're going to play some of their best football because during training camp, they're working on some of those plays when they play the Eagles, and that goes along with the championship. You're going to get everybody's best, So I mean, you know that because you guys went through that in college, and I remember going through that in college. The time the people were waiting on you, time you got to the airport. So you're going to get everybody's best effort, and that goes along with being the champion. So
I always thought some of those games were like, I mean, the games against Oklahoma or games against Penn State or these other guys, you're like, well, these guys are going to show up because they're good too.
That's
All
right.
of a sudden, we're playing East Carolina and we're playing somebody like that, and I'm like, holy shit, they're one score bomb right there in the fourth quarter. Coaches are on your ass more after games like that.
That's right.
You're going like, you let that team hang in there with 10 points. I'm like, yeah, really.
That's right.
How did that happen? Gary should be interesting this weekend. Thank you, my friend. Make sure you check him out on Fox 29. Great stuff as always. Thank you,
All
Gary.
right. Okay.
All right, Cobb. Make sure you guys check him out. He's right. We're always those games were always like, he's right. You're like, how did we only end up beating them guys by 10 points? Oh boy, man. Everybody's got an opinion on Bo Patullo. Maybe I should get Angelo on tomorrow and get his opinion on Bo Patullo. Holy shit. We're going to get Xander's butt in here real soon too. And I heard people talking about, hey, maybe now they'll give Kevin Patullo credit for what he did in the second half. Well, how'd you put him? Wait a minute. So I love that kind of conversation. Here's why. Well, congratulations on putting the fire out you lit. You were burning the house down and you threw water on it, and congratulations, you put the fire out. Yeah, but you started the fire. You're the one that started the fire. You're getting credit for stopping a fire you started. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did think Fred Johnson did well. Philadelphia. People make the game too complicated. It's not complicated. Stop doing math, because scientifically math won't win you an arm wrestling match versus a strong dude. Are you talking about the analytics part of it? You're right, Philadelphia. Stop with the nerd football. That's it. Hey, Eagles, stop with the nerd football. You played nerd football in the first half. It was like nerds sitting around. It's like Julian Laurie must have like the Nerds of the Month Club. And all these little nerds sit there and go, I think this play right here is a 25% chance of actually winning. And I think this play here has a 15% chance. And you're sitting there going like, no, bro, football ain't like that. Vic doesn't coach like that. I heard Vic ask the question, or the Vic was asked the question, hey, Vic, when you're doing a game and you're calling plays for a game, he goes, it's the feel of the game. I think he takes a shit and shot. He takes a shit and a shot at the analytics, same way he did in Miami. You know why he hated the Miami thing? Miami's an analytics department too. Everything is analytics and statistics and all this other bullshit. Seals, could Barkley be having an issue because the O-line's banged up and going against stacked boxes, kind of making something out of nothing like at the Giants? Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with health and shitty play calling. And different personnel. All of it's true. It's not one thing. People are looking at it going like this. Barkley doesn't seem to be anything wrong with him. Boy, he's sure playing like there is. That guy does not look explosive. And by the way, missing blocks too. I'm shocked. Especially a key block that almost got your quarterback killed. Shields, did you hear Greg Olson during the game? Low-key trashing the Eagles' play calling. He kept saying it isn't complicated or hard to get the ball to AJ. That's why, Curtis, did you hear me say, force the ball to him? I want to force the football to AJ Brown. I don't care who's on him. Hey, by the way, you're zoned up. Every time I hear that on Xander's show, I want to vomit. AJ Brown is zoned up, so what does that mean? Are you trying to tell me? Well, then guess this. Then teams aren't respecting your run game. And they're not respecting. A year ago, they respected the run game and AJ out there. Well, either one, they're not respecting the play calling and the run game right now. Dude, the run game's a problem. Your run defense and your run game. You're 16th right now in rush defense. Gave up 160. They blew your doors off. By the way, I think the Rams did a great job against your run offense. They held you to 46 yards rushing. 46 yards, and Hurts had one design play. So, okay, I'll give you 10. 56 yards. You had 56 yards rushing. And the previous two games, you averaged 200. What do you think happened? And for the first half, you had -3 yards passing. Stop the BS narrative. Barkley isn't right. Show me there's been any holes in any of the first 3 games. I'll wait. Okay, so your O-line sucks. Stop telling me then you have the best O-line in football. And what's your excuse for him blowing that block, getting your quarterback destroyed? Dropping the football, too, when they're throwing it to him. How do you think he's playing? He had a terrible football game. Saquon Barkley had a terrible game. Give me a grade on his game. Drop pass, missed block, 46 yards rushing. C-, D+. He was terrible. Of all the star players, Barkley was the worst guy on the field. Devontae was great. AJ was great. Hurts was great. Fucking Goddard was great. Well, then we all agree to agree here. I don't give a shit what you think either. Saquon took the wrong guy. Don't act like guys don't fuck up. You see this here? So when a guy gains 46 yards, drops passes, and gets his quarterback killed, he thinks I'm picking one play out of the bunch for a game. Nice try, dude. Tell me this. How many people believed that Saquon Barkley had a good game? Give me a grade. Let's see what Twiz will tell you he had an A game. Tell me what kind of game he had. What do you think the game he had? Missed the block. Horrible running. Drop passes. And his quarterback destroyed. His quarterback destroyed. Drop passes. And 46 yards rushing. 46 yards rushing. Is above average? Really. 46 yards rushing. A missed block that killed your quarterback and drop passes. You're right. He had a great one. Next. Keith, you're sour-ass motherfucker, Sells. You couldn't get laid in a whorehouse with $1 million in your hand. 3-0. Go get fucked. Wow, thank you. Now I know I'm winning. Thank you very much, my friend. That's a merit badge post right there. Thank you, douchebag. You spent your entire life wanting to post that. You posted in here. You had to click on my show. You had to wait for my show. And then at the end of the day, you came in here. Hey, the only thing I would ask you, when you're laying in your bed, please stop thinking of me. Because it's kind of creepy. You know what I mean? Hopefully you're thinking of a chick when you wake up and not Big Cells. If you're going to say, bizarre, really, that guy took all that time to post that. That's a wonderful post, in my opinion. Whew. If you're going to say Saquon had a bad game, keep that energy with Henry. Wait a minute. What does Derrick Henry's game, who has a legendary Hall of Fame career, Barkley doesn't? If he has one game, are you crazy? Really? Keep that same. Derrick Henry's going to the Hall of Fame. Got him. Got him. That's what you do? You come in here to got him? Man, you need a life, bro. Really, you need a life. Got him? Congratulations. Well, I'm glad. Wonderful for you. Really exciting that you got my attention. Holy shit. You're glad because you got my attention? Really wild. Man. I pray they're chicks at least. Barkley needs to come to have a Jesus Barkley needs to have a come to Jesus moment. I think it's health, not his. And play calling. If anyone thinks we're winning the Super Bowl like we have in the first 3 games, you're sadly mistaken. But it's all fixable. You know what I mean, Chris? The shit's fixable, dude. Sills, I will point out anyone's bad game, Hall of Famer or not. Correct. Sills cooking up Google stats in week 3 like a nerd. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Google stats? They're not Google stats, asshole. They're trends. Google stats. You know what a Google stat is? Your sorry-ass OC. Bobo Patullo. Holy shit. I bet you that guy could fuck up boiling an egg. Let alone putting a game plan together. And then wait a minute. Here, watch this. Hey, Kevin, what are we doing in the first half? We got -3 yards passing and 34 yards. And then all of a sudden in the second half, it was almost like I Dream of Genie with the fucking rubbing of the lamp. And all of a sudden you had the greatest play caller in the history of play calling. Who's calling plays in the second half? Shane Steichen? Holy cow. Bobo Patullo. Good grief almighty. Give up 166 yards rushing in the game. Hey, but we played good for 12 minutes. Okay. We played good for about 15 minutes. Here, you know what's funny? Xander's dead on with this. So I say the Eagles played C football in 3 games. People like M. Reyes goes, you're a fucking hater. It's A+ football. And I go, well, if you play an A+ football now, you're winning 9 games. If you're playing C football right now and you're 3-0 and you can improve, you're going to win 13 ball games. It's not a rip, kid. Sit back, smoke a joint, have a Mai Tai, have a martini, talk to your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your loved one, whoever you are, if you're one of these guys in here that post really kind of suspect comments to another man. Holy cow. By the way, some of the people that Xander blocked today, it wasn't because he didn't mind what you said. It's because it was very unbecoming of a dude. And he took your man card away from you today. It was man card stuff. All right. The 3-0 Philadelphia Eagles, relying on a Kelsey drop, relying on a block punt by the biggin, and a block field goal. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, our friend Big Z, Xander Krause, joins us now.
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
And we keep the best for the last here. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm feeling good. I tell you what, though, I'm listening to my own network today, and I'm like, what the sounds like a funeral on this place, man. You and Johnny Matt, that was a beautiful win. What are you looking for in September, Sileo? You're looking to learn about your football team. You're looking to find what you guys are made of. You don't win Super Bowls.
I already know what they're made of.
You don't need A+ performances.
I already know what they're made of.
No, they don't. You
That
don't think
football,
that team,
are
you
you
don't
trying
think
to
that
tell me
team
you
learned
don't
something
think
about
Jalen
themselves
Hurts
yesterday?
You don't think Jalen Hurts and Jordan Mailata and Lane and all these guys don't know what they are and who they are?
You don't think that team learned something about themselves yesterday?
No, I think they know who they are. The coordinator needs to know who they are. The coordinator doesn't know.
Well, did he learn something yesterday?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so that's my positive because, look, I agree. I've used this, Sills, and honestly, I think you've made an impact because I've heard this used all over the place nowadays. Liars Month.
Yep.
So if we take that approach into the game, fuck the outcome for just a second. All right, we won the game. Screw the outcome for a second. What can we take from the games in September? What do we need to learn about? We need to put ourselves on a trajectory where we can be playing our best ball in December.
Where I'm coming from with that. What you're saying, I think we're saying the same thing. I think you're playing C football in these 3 games, and you got fucking so much more to improve. And on top of that, a lot of it is self-inflicted. It's injuries. It's situational play calling. Maybe it's the quarterback grabbing the bull by the horns and saying, whoa, dude, because there was something definitely different in the second half.
Oh,
what was the difference?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I'm not going to sit here and say they knocked Petulo out of it, but I don't know. That was a different offense. Well, no, I think and look, I do agree with you where they're clearly not playing their best football. I mean, look, every player in the team said it yesterday. We got a lot to learn from today. Jalen Hurts said we got a lot to clean up. He said it on the post-game interview after the fact. But
Nick too.
If you don't have order, Sills, like if you just liken it to like a vision, like if you don't have structure or principles in your life, or you're not a person who has values that you subscribe by, then you blow at the wind like a tumbleweed. And I liken it like the Eagles got the train on track. It doesn't mean that it's perfect. It doesn't mean it's humming like a well-oiled machine yet. But at the very least, I think they learned what tracks to cut out and where to focus on. That doesn't mean they're going to pursue that or get there every single week. But I thought yesterday was an amazing lesson for this team about what it looks like when our backs are against the wall. Look, Sills,
they're not changing this weekend. I'm
not saying they are, but I think I think there was a lot to learn from that game. I was talking to some of the people on the post game show. We had a guy, one of our legendary people on there. You might know him or not, Joe Whipp in the chat. He was down with me at the parade. He's been a Philadelphia Eagles fan since the 60s. He said to me, and hey, maybe it was Philadelphia overreaction. I don't know. He said to me, that was one of the worst halves of football I've ever seen in my entire life watching this team. So that's the level of bad. And I almost think that's a good thing. It's like you see what the worst case scenario looks like, and then you're able to bounce back. I just personally think there's a lot of growth that you can have learning, going through an experience like that. It's classic adversity. You learn more in your failures and in your defeats than you do in your victories. And the only way that victory was achieved that way was to get to that low. So you're right. They got a lot of ways to go. They got a lot of order. They got a lot of consistency they have to build, and they're not playing their best football. But I do think yesterday was the best case scenario for what you can learn from a week 3 game. If they play like shit all game, you walk out of that and you're like, yeah, flush that game. There's nothing to take from it, or vice versa. If they dominate it, what we're saying, okay, it's September. You're playing your best football now doesn't teach you much. So I really did think, honestly, there was a lot good to take yesterday for the Eagles.
There was. So what do you make of Kevin Patullo? Now after 12 quarters heading into the Buck game.
I think they got the straitjacket on him too.
So
I listened to your
overseeing. I do too.
I listened to your full show today up until this point. After my Birds 365, as weird as this may sound to people, but sometimes I do so much as a host where I'm producing, I'm cutting clips, and I'm sending links, and I'm like, I don't hear everything that's said at times on Birds 365. I really re-listened to my own show, and John said it on the show today. He said, "Oh, you got a problem with the conservative approach? Don't blame Kevin Patullo for that. That's organizational. That's head coach, and it might even come from higher than the head coach."
Oh, absolutely, from Howie.
So if you're telling me, let's just assume, and hey, maybe you're right. Maybe it was Jalen Hurts who called the plays in the second half. Let's just assume for a second, though, it was Kevin Patullo for the sake of this conversation in the second half as well. Well, shit, that's him unleashed too. Maybe he's not that bad at passing concepts.
I said that last week to you. I go, how do you know it's not Nick? And, do they have the straitjacket? I think I said, do they have the straitjacket on Kevin?
See, this is where this is where it gets muddy for me, and I'm not sure. RC3 says Nick is in full control. But don't you think that if that conservative approach is coming from up to Nick, are we sure it stops at Nick? Are we sure Nick is the one setting that?
No.
So I don't know. But I think Kevin Patullo might be in the straitjacket, honestly.
Okay, well, you know what the straitjacket is? You know what it's code for? Analytics. Yeah. Doesn't that look like a numbers game that was played in the first half going by the book on what you thought plays would work? And before you know it, the Rams had answers for everything, and it just looked like they had no way of getting out of it. It just looked like it was mapped out on how to approach that first half, and it was a train wreck. Now they had to break away and break from the tether in the second half because they were down. The Rams even scored, went down there and put a 20-plus burger up, and you're really down. All of a sudden, you have to do this, right? You know what? I think the Eagles are better, and Jalen Hurts is better when they are off script more and up tempo.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You came back on that team because you got off script and up tempo.
Yeah.
That's the positive, Xander.
Didn't you take away this too, Sills, from after the game? And as a player yourself, former player yourself, you kind of know how a player thinks. And I think that's one of the reasons this is such a popular show. But didn't listening to AJ and then listening to Jalen and then you looked at the excitement on Hurts' face. You listened to what he said to Pam Oliver. He was very intentional in that interview. This is who we are in this half. We got to get away from playing not to lose. Like, I'm not trying to create a wedge here between the coaches and the players. I'm just saying, to me, it seems like there's a clear directive. The players who are on this offense don't really want to play the way that the coach and the organization wants them all to play. I mean, from AJ's comment to Jalen's comment, I'm sure Smitty, I didn't hear anything from him, but I'm sure he's commented on it. I think this team wants to let loose. And hey, that's not even talking about whether Jalen would be successful or this offense would be successful at it. But I think this team wants to play, man. I think they want to let their nuts hang. I've been saying that. I know it's vulgar, but I've been saying that on the show for a couple weeks. Let the nuts hang. Come on, everybody.
Xander, this is the best topic that I could possibly have. And I will be going full force and full forward with this. Don't you think Nick Sirianni takes the chance of losing his locker room if you keep listening to the front office guys and analytics, when you got players down there banging on those guys, telling them, this is bullshit, how we are running this offense? It's embarrassing. Those players looked embarrassed coming off the field. They looked embarrassed. And then when they had the rebound in the second half, like you said, look at Hurts' face. Look at AJ's face. They were all excited. This is what we want to do,
right?
Not what they want us to do. I'll tell you what, man. You start dropping a couple L's. If you do, it'll be a different conversation in that locker room with guys wanting to win one way and the coaches wanting to win another way.
Yeah.
Now, you tell me, do you think the coaches want to win one way? And do you think the players now want to win another way?
You see, I don't view it as black and white as you just asked it. I know this is probably a political answer, but like, so the hard thing to gauge is like they are 19 of the last 20 now, right? Or 18 of the last 19.
Yeah, but these are the players complaining.
I know. I'm just saying, I think sometimes there's a mindset of, I appreciate that AJ wants the ball. That doesn't mean he knows how to set the tempo. You know what I mean? So again, I think you're right in that
because you drop on me 19-1, and I go,
yeah, right.
Man. No. I'm with
it's
you.
hard.
It's
Don't
hard for me
fix
to
what's
get
not
into
broken.
a fight over that.
Exactly. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it's like, I think I don't know if it's all the coaches being wrong. I think, the success that we've had has maybe clouded some of their, shit, man, this is winning. Nobody wins like this. We're doing something right. So maybe let people bitch about stats and we're just going to keep doing this. But I do think, to the point of,
I think it's going to get to a tipping point.
well, I think just going back 1 second, and then I'll get to the tipping point conversation. But just going back 1 second, I think I would assume most people, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I would assume most people in their own life can think about this as it applies to them in whatever way it would apply to them. But when you have belief in yourself, when you're a confident person, when you're AJ Brown, when you're Jalen Hurts, when you're Devontae, like, you want to impose your will. You don't go through life saying, okay, whatever comes up on this day, whatever comes up in this scenario is going to dictate the way I live my life. And in this case, the way I play offensive football. I think everybody in that locker room, rightfully so, has a pride about them, a sense of confidence about them that I want to come in and do what I want to do. I don't give a shit what the defense wants me to do. This is what we want to do today. And I can relate to that from a sense of, if you're that type of dude, or you're that type of alpha, or you're that type of killer, as AJ Brown called them, you want to go out there and dictate the tempo, dictate what you do. And I think you're kind of tugging on the human element there.
What
of
you're saying here.
You got a lot of caged, you know what I mean? For lack of a better word, you got a lot of caged players who want to be unleashed.
Say animals. I got it. I mean, we.
No, I mean it in a way of seriously. They want to break free from what the offense is setting the parameters on what they can be.
Okay, well then let me expand. When does it become a tipping point? Because I saw some of it on the sidelines on Sunday when they were fucking having an argument on this. Well, a conversation. I won't say argument because I don't know what was said. It looked like there was a conversation, and then after, dude, AJ went like this. I'll tell you what, I've never seen more guys after a win like that go like this. Hey man, we can't do this, man. We can't play like this. And all of a sudden Hurts is going, we can't play like this. And you're right, Xander. The one thing you take out of the game is the fact that you fought your ass off and you played for 60 minutes. That is the positive. But
and you still win the game. I mean, that's another positive. You find a way to win.
And you put yourself in that position yourself. You put that in. So again,
all right. Now I'm going to give you my answer to your point about the tipping point, and it's going to be optimistic Eagle fan.
Right.
All right. And I feel strongly being that optimistic Eagle fan because they've demonstrated to me enough times for me to believe in it. But I think the tipping point just happened at halftime. I think
if they go back to their approach and how they do it on Sunday against the Bucks, everything you just said, it's still in place. Do you not agree?
To a certain extent, yes. But at least they just saw and they just reminded themselves what they're all capable of doing. I mean, let's be real for a second, Sills. They dominated the Rams in the second half. Dominated them. They scored like 20. They scored 21 point or not 20 points in 12 minutes.
Well, then what are we talking about here? I want to dominate people. I don't want to sit around dicking around.
Hey, yeah, again, I agree with you, but don't you understand that we don't have the perfect leg to stand on because Nick is like, yo, assholes, I'm 19-1,
I hate that.
So I get it. Now, I think that, the league changes so quick, they got to get ahead of it, and I think that's what they did at halftime. Maybe they
think they think their way of thinking is better than the players' way of thinking.
Well, maybe, but I also think that
because of the 19-1.
If they feel like that tipping point has occurred too, they've shown that they'll change because that's what they did at the bye week last year. All right, these guys are on to something.
Yeah,
and if they feel like game then. But if if Nick is looking and he's like, yeah, running game's not looking as good as it did last year. Defense is good, but they're not the number one in football right now. We might have to evolve this year. Maybe these guys are onto something. And my point would be this, like, there's obviously going to be some level. Like, they're not going to do what they did in the second half every game. We all know that. That's not going to be their approach. They're going to use Saquon. Like, they're going to play, kind of their game. But if you look at it and say, shit, I lost my train of thought. I'm listening to the dog outside, and I lose my fucking train of thought in the middle of the commentary.
In the second half, if you think they can evolve the offense on what they saw in the second half of this game, if they're going to evolve into they see what they can possibly do. I don't know. I was just saying something like that.
Yeah, well, I think they can see and look at it and say, we got to be better. That we don't. I got it. I was going to say, you can look and say, we don't need to beat the Cowboys on CeeDee Lamb drops. We don't need to beat the Chiefs on whatever they beat them on last week, which was kind of a little bit fluky in a way too. Like, we should be cleaning the clock with these teams, and again, we know we're not going to do that every single week. But at the end of the day, we are a good enough team. We do have the players that we need to be able to impose our will and give ourselves a little bit of a margin for error, And someone, by the way, I had a guy on last night on the post-game show, Chris 3K. I don't know if he's listening. He was the last guy I had on. And he brought up a good point about this as well, where when your offense is more aggressive, that enables your defense to be more aggressive as well. They're jumping passing lanes. They're trying to take chances on the football to create plays because there's a bigger margin for them. They don't need to hold teams to 16 points a game or they're screwed. You know what I mean? Your offense is putting up 27, 30 points. So I think that gives them a little bit more of a runway as well to try and, okay, let's impose our will defensively. Let's play aggressive on defense instead of playing bend but don't break on our heels. So I think it works both ways too.
What are you more concerned about, your rush defense or your rush offense? Gave up 160 to the Rams. 5.5 yards a clip. And on the other side, you take Hurts out of the equation, you had 14 carries for 46 yards.
Yeah. Part of me, maybe I'm wrong on this, but part of me believes that the running game and the offense is going to fix itself if the passing game can pick up a little bit. I mean, we had seriously low outputs in week 1 and 2. Like, I know it's okay to not be the most pass happy team in the world, but 101 passing yards, 94 net is like the bottom of the spectrum. Like, you're like at the very supreme bottom. So I think that limited the running game. And if you can envision a more balanced attack, I think Saquon's going to pick up. So I would say to your answer, I think the run game on defense would be a bigger concern for me because Jordan Davis has taken such a big step forward as a more versatile defensive tackle.
It's your edge guys right now getting beat.
I know. But do you think Jordan Davis has –
Yeah.
I don't want to say he got worse in the run, but he's playing a little bit of a different position because he's playing so many snaps right now, So I don't know. I mean, the running game is not – the run defense still has some issues, but you're right. Okay. I think it's more edge than it is interior.
So let me ask you about that. Since he's playing more reps, how come the rush defense is going up?
Well, I think to your point, the edges aren't holding as good. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like Jordan Davis is playing so damn good. It's hard for me to say it's Jordan Davis's fault.
Well, okay. I'm saying he's playing more reps. Last year he played less reps, and the run defense was down. Remember we said the less you see of him, that means you're in 3rd and long more. You've been giving up a nickel. You've been giving up a nickel in every game so far this year, 5 yards a carry. You think that's a problem?
Well, I mean, it's obviously not you want to be better than that, but I mean, I think they can prevail. Now I do think you're going to have moments where you got to be better because yesterday, dude, McVay is he's just so.
I thought he was great for 3 quarters and then he shit the bed.
He's an amazing offensive mind, but he doesn't manage game. Like, you have 4th and 2 with the Eagles. Dude, you can't kick 4 field goals. Like, I know people chirp Nick sometimes for being too aggressive, but you got to take advantage of opportunities when you have a team playing that bad. Like, you got to understand the Eagles
aren't going to beat the Eagles kicking field goals.
I know, and they're not going to be as bad as they were in the first half for a full game. No. They've never been. So, I thought he had some really bad coaching. You're probably going to have some moments where there will be more aggressive coaches who will try and take advantage of that. But, Yeah, I mean, I think they're in a good spot, but the run defense is probably a bigger concern there.
I thought the Rams, I thought they gagged, and I'll tell you why. They thought they had you, and they thought they were just going to run the clock out. And a play was made at the end. The Eagles played 60 minutes of ball, and guess what? The Rams played 59 minutes, and it wasn't enough. I mean, that's what happened. The last minute of the ball game, that's what that was. That came down to 1 minute. 1 minute determined the outcome of that game.
Eagles some credit, though. I mean, they really shut them down in the second half. With the exception of that turnover, the Rams didn't have another point in that half.
But again, self-inflicted. You put the Rams in that position with the play calling.
Well,
I mean, the lack of running.
If you go back and you watch the breakout drive when it was 26-7, and that was when they had a 30-yard pass to AJ, and then a 30-yard in the seam to Dallas Goedert for the touchdown. That's where
were you all game?
No, but I'm saying if you were to make the case to me that they took it from Patullo, it's very clear to see where the demarcation line is.
Bro,
they marked down that field so fast.
There's no fucking way he called plays in the second half.
I don't know, man. I'm seriously wondering after re-listening to John, I'm like, John was telling us Patullo is in a straitjacket too.
I know he is.
I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe he's a bum play caller. I don't know. I think it's too early to know.
No. I think that's Nick.
You know what was interesting too? You had your boy Craig Carton on Friday. You listen back on that interview after watching that game. He was on to some shit. I mean, he was talking about Patullo. He talked about the concerns that everybody was having with the Eagles. He's like, I'm smart enough. I've seen this story enough. That's a good offense under there. Now, I know it doesn't look like it right now, but that's a good offense. And he said that.
I think we all know that, but we all know this.
Yeah, but he, to his point, I thought he elaborated on it nicely. So, but no, I mean, look, I think the goal now is how do you get to a point where you see more of that without having to get to such extreme circumstances? You don't need you cannot have an environment where you have to be down 21 points in order to activate AJ Brown.
19-1.
Can I say something? That's
19-1.
Can I say something?
19-1.
Yes, and can I say something that as a talk guy now about the Eagles, we have this channel. We got a bunch of our great people who comment each and every single day. I've taken a lot of not too many, but enough comments. Xander, shut the fuck up. You're the Eagle fan. You can't be, we're 2-0. I don't ever want to hear again that we don't need to get AJ Brown involved. Please, for the love of God, save the comments. I don't give a shit. All right.
Force it to him.
That guy is so good. He is a joy to watch. He is what you said, the best receiver we've ever had, certainly in my lifetime. I mean, I know we had T.O., but I think I was 6 years old when we had
think
T.O.
he's better. I disagree.
Like, dude, I don't want to hear that bullshit. Oh, Xander, we just won, dude. Don't worry about AJ. Nah, I'm sorry. I almost feel so strongly about this that I don't think there should be a 3-play sequence, a series where you don't try and get the ball to AJ. You get 3rd and long, I'm throwing the ball to AJ. I mean, he's that good. He's that good. He's a man amongst boys. Get him the football, It's like Saquon. Why hand the ball to Saquon? Yeah, get the ball to AJ. Night and day. Clockwork. Come on.
All right. Are you extending Jordan Davis after 3 games?
Well, I got to see a little bit more, but I do think you're walking a tight line, right? Because let's just say for a second, all right, entertain me, all right? I know it's potential, and that means it hasn't been done. Let's just say Jordan Davis keeps his pace for the year. Let's just say.
All right.
What's he going to be worth in the open market?
On a team that's given up 140 yards a game?
Yeah, but he's now
5 yards a rush?
He's now expanded to more than just a run. He's not just playing rundowns.
You're giving reps more credit than production.
Well, he's been productive.
Okay, well, how are they running the ball then?
Well, now
we're 17th in run defense.
Yeah, but can I just push back on you? When Jordan Davis was only a run stopper, you used to say it's all he does. And now that he's playing a more versatile role and the run defense is not quite as good, now you're going to kill Jordan Davis?
No,
are you trying to push him back into the corner of he's a one-dimensional player?
What's his impact been when your defense is getting run on like this?
Well, I mean, I think he certainly still has an impact. He's been you said it yesterday on the postgame show. Who's been the best defensive tackle on the football team?
I'm just putting things in context here with you talking about an extension. And in the first 3 games, Cowboys ran for 120. Chiefs turned around and went for 125. And then yesterday they went for 160.
Yeah, but can I put all that on Jordan Davis? I don't think that makes sense.
No.
Yeah.
But when he was playing less, he was more impactful because he had one job. By the way, I'm not saying he's playing poorly.
I don't know if I could say he's more impactful.
Bro,
He's more impactful in the run.
Bro, the D-line itself is getting run on. Those are facts.
Yeah, I know, but
By the way,
I don't really view it like
you're looking at his numbers on a stat sheet, and I'm looking at the numbers when I see in a ball game when somebody goes for 5.5.
He's not the only defensive lineman on the field. Like, why is he
then
and you just got done telling me they weren't
okay, well, then who's at fault then, Carter?
They're all at fault to a certain extent. You're on the defensive line, you got a role to play, and stopping the run is one of them.
Okay, so the D-line's not playing well then.
Well, they're playing good in some areas. They got improvement in other areas. Same as the offense.
I'm just trying to figure out why you're giving up a nickel a game.
I hear you. Nickel carry. Nickel carry.
Look,
I hear you. I'm not saying you're entirely wrong, but I'm not going to sit here and say it's all, on Jordan. I don't think it's all on Jordan Davis.
I'm not saying that. Yeah. I'm saying it's.
Let me ask you. I'll flip the tables.
Okay.
Would you pay Jordan Davis?
Right now, nothing. I want to see 17 ball games. I want to see the impact on how this thing turns out. Right now, we're turning the knobs to try to find the radio station on your radio. I want to hear what it sounds like and what it sounds like at the end of the year here, like it did a year ago. I couldn't have been more wrong about a football defense a year ago than what that thing was. Everybody's in here fucking blowing the Packers to me the first couple of weeks, and I'm going, hey, Sills, do you buy the Packers? I went, no. I'm not buying the Packers because I don't buy the quarterback. So it's a liar's month here.
He's been graded pretty well in run defense. Again, that's not everything. I know it's not everything. Believe me,
it's not everything.
No, but he's done well in terms of the grade on run defense. Last week, the LA game was his best game of the season. The Chiefs game was his worst game of the season in run defense. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it's something to watch.
More reps. Remember, Xander, more reps.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, they're asking him. I think I'd have to look. I mean,
but that's going to lower your production with more reps. Until you
53, 32, 45 reps yesterday for Jordan Davis.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
he's already got 100. He's got 130 snaps through 3 weeks. Last year, he had 444 total.
Okay. So let's see how it looks.
He's going to surpass that number.
I agree with people. I think he's playing at a Pro Bowl level right now. I'm just saying.
I don't know if he's playing at an all-pro level.
Not all-pro. No, we're not going all-pro. We're going Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, he's been better than Carter.
Carter. And look, remember we talked about. I do think and I know we live in a world where everybody wants easy bake ovens and all the bullshit where it comes super quick and first round quarterbacks are expected to be great in 3 games and I think there's the same with Jordan Davis, who was the 13th overall pick, but I think he's a player with the way he's built and the maturity and just like when you're a bigger dude like that in college. Like, I think there's more of an acclimation period when you get to the NFL. And I think you've seen that with Jordan Davis. And if you give him a little time, I think he's a guy who could get much better with time. He's learning how to play with his body. He's learning how to, he learned his game weight. I think you can tell how much better this game weight is for him than last year and the year prior. So, I think Jordan Davis is great. Right now, I'm paying him. Now, I'm of the opinion that I'd pay him now because I want to get ahead of that market because that market's crazy. The defensive tackle market, they make big money in there. And you got Jalen Carter as well, who I assume they're going to pay. So I'm probably getting ahead of that market. I'd like to give Jordan 18 to 20 million. I don't even know if that'll get the deal done. But like, what do you think he's worth? Seriously. You don't think 18 million? You balked at that.
You want me to play the game? If he plays like this the way out?
Yeah.
If he plays the way out, I was more impressed with the play on Stafford than I was with the block punt or the block field goal. Because I've seen that now getting Stafford and Josh Allen, him tracking him down. So Chris Jones makes 30-something million. He's nowhere in that room.
Chris Jones is 31. Milton Williams is 26. Lynn McNeil is 24.
He's not a better player than Milton Williams right now.
He's a much different player, though. much different player.
He is. You have to
Jeffrey
categorize that.
Simmons is making 23.5. Deron Payne, 22.5. Dexter Lawrence, which is the top of the top when it comes to nose. But remember, Jordan is proving to be a little bit more versatile than Dexter. Doesn't mean he's better than him, but he does play. Dexter is pretty exclusively a nose tackle.
I'm not going on the 3 games. I'm going by week 13 to now.
I think he's going to be 20 million plus. That Osa guy in Dallas, who's a better player so far than Jordan Davis, got 20 this year. He signed.
So you're going to pay 2 defensive tackles $60 million.
Well, look, this team is a team that thrives, and they love the trenches, Sills. If there's a place they're going to pay on the defense, it's going to be it's going to be that interior. Now, I agree, it's rich. Somebody's going to have to go. Like, there's going to have to be some changes. But I don't know. Like, think about it. Howie's so good at these contracts, and maybe it changes a little bit. But like the craziest part is Jalen Carter's going to get signed this offseason, but that money's not going to start really kicking in until after when his 5th-year option.
3 years now. About 3 years.
3 years. So, like, factor in the cap is going to go up another
25 million
a year
per year.
Right. So you're probably looking at an additional 75 million. Now that's going to get eaten up quick because all the contracts are rising as well. But, I think there's going to be a little bit more flexibility than we think, but there's going to be some changes for sure. I'm curious to see which way Howie goes with it.
How do you think Zach Baum played?
Good. I rewatched the all 22. I mean, I don't think he was much of an impact in the run game as you and Gary talked about, but he is everywhere, man. He is so good in coverage for a linebacker, like scary good.
He can really drop well, can he?
Yes, he can, and he's a great tackler. I know he had that one missed tackle, but he made up for it the next day.
He did, right? The very next play, actually.
Yep, tackle for a loss. So he's just an aggressive player. He's all over the football field, and he's got such a good football IQ. He always seems to know where to be. And that's a knack for a linebacker to be able to know where to be. Getting in the right position is a lot. So I think he's doing great. I think he's having a good year so far.
Those edge rushers are not playing well.
They didn't really show up to me yesterday,
and they were running those stretch plays on them. It really wasn't Jordan Davis in the middle and Carter. It was the edge rushers that were not setting the edge. Look how many times they got out. Nolan Smith, I'd like to know what he graded against the run. I'd be curious.
You want me to look?
Yeah, please. Tell me what he did, and then tell me what Zadarius Smith did, and tell me what
Jordan in the game yesterday was ranked 78. The number grade was 78 in the run. Let me look up Nolan Smith yesterday. Against 56 for Nolan against the run. Now, again, this is PFF, so some people like it, some people don't. I understand that, but let's go to Darius Smith. Yeah, 48.
Okay. Look at Hunt.
Hunt. At least I've seen Hunt in the backfield.
I have.
Like I'm hoping he can. He was 66.9 in the run.
Okay. So we're talking about guys who did not have a good day against the run.
66 is not as bad as the other two.
No. But he limited in reps.
Zadarius was real bad.
Yeah.
Zadarius was real bad. Can I look at more of Jomo's grades? Is anybody looking like –
Yeah, tell me what Jomo did against
the run. This might be my worst take of the offseason.
Listen.
He was 71 yesterday and 80 grade. He had a good grade yesterday. His best graded game of the year.
Okay. So that defensive line – what did Carter grade out against the run? I'd like to know. Then I'm going to ask you, what do you make of Carter's play so far in 2 games?
He's still finding his feet. Run defense, 51 yesterday, 43 last week, 64 overall defensive grade. He's not dominating football games right now. No, he's not. He's not dominating football games right now. I think I don't know how bad that injury is because he's
very shocked.
He's still holding that thing, dude. Like, he's grabbing onto that shoulder a lot. So, I don't know. I mean,
and they have no depth at that position.
Carter's one of those players where even when he doesn't play great for his standard, he still makes an impact on the game. But you need that guy to be a game wrecker. I mean, your defense is kind of built on that. When he is, that thing is going to look good. So, you got to keep an eye on that for sure. Not a great start to the year for him. Suspension.
How do you think Reed Blankenship's playing?
Incoming Big Marshall. There's like this genie that comes to Big Marshall and he joins the chat. The second Reed Blankenship comes up. He might join in right now. Yeah, I don't think he's been great. Everybody talked about the push off yesterday for Davante Adams, and it was a push off, but did Eagles fans fail to see how burnt toast he was on that play? Anyway, I mean, first off, he got caught watching. And then he had to real quick flip his hips, turn around, and run down Davante Adams. And I don't know in what world Reed Blankenship lives, but you're never running down Davante Adams when you Reed Blankenship. So you better get back and you better keep him in front of you as best you can. But, yeah, he hasn't been great. He hasn't been great.
What do you think the youngsters did? John Campbell and Makuba.
They didn't jump out at me as much yesterday, like either good or bad. Like I didn't see any plays where I was.
Campbell struggled a little bit in coverage.
Well, I think that's going to happen. He's a rook, I mean,
yeah. No. I told you, Xander, they get passes with me because
he had very good grade in coverage, man. Like he's had crazy good grades. Week 1, he had 85.9 in coverage, 78.5 last week, and then a 77.7.
That's good. Okay, but I'm wrong.
No, well, PFF. It doesn't mean you didn't see things. I mean, look, let me just explain to people why PFF is good, but it also is immensely stupid sometimes. Do you want to know who the highest graded offensive players were yesterday for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah. Dotson.
John Mechie was number 1 with 2 snaps. Matt Pryor was number 3.
He almost got a quarterback.
He got benched.
Yeah.
He had 15 total snaps, and he was awful in every one of them.
He was obliterated.
So that's why I'm like, how is Matt Pryor your highest rated defensive player?
You know who had a pretty good game? Adoree Jackson. Take a look at his pass coverage and what he did.
It's not good.
It's not. I thought he was okay back there.
It was him and Quinion were rated out the same. The 2 highest graded defensive players yesterday were Zach Bond, 90.3, another incredible grade. Jordan Davis, number 2. Moro Ojomo, number 3. Byron Young, 4. Jahad Campbell, 5.
Huh.
And Byron Young was not. The only 3 starters of those 3 were Bond, Davis, and Campbell. So Campbell was still your 3rd highest rated starter.
What was Campbell against the run?
Against the run, Campbell was 65.6.
Not terrible.
80 in tackling, 77 in coverage. He's been good, dude. Yeah, he looks pretty. He looks damn good for a rookie. I mean, he's got learning to do, no doubt. But I'm really optimistic on Jahad Campbell. I think he's going to be a.
Let me tell you what my wife said about Davante yesterday. She goes like this.
Davante, which one? Smith?
Yeah. She goes, Dad, Smith's my favorite player. She goes, I love that guy. I thought he was tough as shit yesterday, man.
He's a tough player, dude.
Those were so tough routes he ran. Yeah. That touchdown catch he had too.
He's a gritty player. He plays like he's 210. He's not afraid of contact.
About a player, man. He is so good. And how?
Look, you know me. I'll get on you if I think you have a wrong take. I actually don't view Davante as a bad take by you. You said. And rightfully, you said it's not the right team for him. I mean,
right. I thought somebody like Cincinnati was Burrow.
Team where you're right. It didn't have a big passer. So you didn't say Davante wasn't a good player. You more said that this isn't the right fit for you.
Right. It's not the
right. I understand what you were saying there. Again, it turned out to be a little wrong, but it wasn't like you were dead wrong with the player.
They got him in a good role of him being a 2, don't they? They got him in a great role. Not the expectations of him having to carry a passing game. AJ's got way more. I'm going to say this to you about AJ yesterday. I think there was leadership in the guy yesterday. I think he was like, you know how many of these wide receivers would blow a fucking gasket over something like this? The chirping that would be going on in the locker room with the players when the media is not in there would be high volume. Instead, he's like, hey, man, we got him. I thought he was the most disappointed guy after the game. He was like, hey, we can't do this, man. We can't play like this. And I think he was dead on. I think there's leadership to that guy. I do.
Who, AJ?
I think he pitches a little bit, but I think there's something there to that, dude.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, I think AJ is, look, rightfully so. He wants the ball at times. But to me, like you look at the last 2 weeks press conferences, not yesterday's, but from the first 2 weeks, like he looks to me like a guy that has a lot to say, but isn't saying it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think he's a smart. I think he has more thoughts that are more evolved than just I want the ball. But he's right. I think what he said after the game was spot on. And look, that doesn't mean that receivers are always right when they say they want the ball, but he's right from a sense of we play too conservative for how good of the players we have on this team. We can let our killers kill, and that's going to do good things for this football team. I agree with him 100% in spades about that comment.
So what about the report coming out that Dion called Howie Roseman and the Eagles were thinking of taking him as a backup quarterback to Jalen Hurts, and Shador said, I don't want to be a backup to Jalen Hurts. What do you make of that?
Doesn't surprise me at all. Howie calls about literally everybody.
No,
literally.
Dion called Howie.
Yeah, but apparently
Howie had interest in it.
Yeah, Howie had some interest in drafting him. Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, Shador wants to look. Shador didn't want to go to any place where there's a set in stone future quarterback, or what I mean.
I don't think it's terrible.
Yeah, so I get that from his perspective. He's a guy that again believes in himself. I like people who believe in themselves, and he didn't want to come here. But I think it's not a surprise the Eagles were interested in him. They're interested in everybody, whether it's good or bad, or whether they end up making the move or not. They still want to know and learn about the player.
I'm going to ask you one last time about Kevin Patullo. So you don't think they replace him?
If it's him that's got the straitjacket on, I think there will be internal questions. If they know, the organization knows it's not him who has the straitjacket on, then shit, just take it off and let him be the OC. My whole thing about the Eagles sometimes is I feel like you got to let coaches coach, let players play. You know what I mean? I don't like the mindset of you have to control every element. If you hired a head coach, believe in the head coach.
Micromanaging.
If you hired the offensive coordinator, believe in the offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? So I from that perspective, I don't like it, but it's too tough for me to tell if it's on Patullo, dude. It really is. I know everybody loves to say that, but it's every coordinator that looks passive.
I think it's Nick.
Do you think it's Nick or do you think it's the organization?
Okay. Then it's the organization. I think they look at you and do what you just, hey, look at this. 19-1. Anything you say, Xander, I'm 19-1. I got a Super Bowl ring. I've been to two Super Bowls in 3 years. You know the way you're thinking right now? You hear Eagle fans doing this? Did you see us in the second half? We're fucking throwing that. But they're going to look at you and go like this. Who cares?
Right.
We're going to go back to we're going to go back to our way and doing it this way.
Right. Let me ask you a question from your perspective here for the Eagles fans out there who maybe felt like I did. I told you at the start of the segment, why I was happy with the game. You remember me saying, we learned a lot from it. You think I was overstating it, or do you think there was truth to what I said, or what do you think about the way I phrased it?
I think you're right. I think in this aspect, though, I think they learned what is going to work for them the same way they learned last year what was going to work for them in the run game. Might be vice versa this year. You might have to turn that inside out. But where I do disagree with you on this is I think Kevin Patullo is the one that had to figure it out. I don't think your players on that offensive side, there's a reason you kept all them guys intact. These are guys that have been to the Super Bowl 2 years out of 3 times. You really think they fucking learned anything about themselves? I don't. I think they know exactly who they are. I think they know exactly. Xander, if they didn't know who they were, they couldn't have fought back and won.
Yeah. My question with that would be,
those players, how many games do you see when players don't win games like that?
Right.
Because they don't know who they are.
I know.
The Eagle players know who they are.
That's true. That's a good perspective. Maybe then, to my point earlier, the guy who had the biggest learning yesterday was Patullo.
It is Patullo.
This is what we're capable of. I got to stop keeping this thing in first gear and flip it on.
But here's the thing that keeps that, and always will put that with the doorstop. Whether he knows it or not now, it's organizationally, they're doing this. We're 19-1. We believe that analytics has got us here, and we're going to put game plans, offense. Dude, the difference in the approach of coaching between Vic and Nick, one guy is a bookworm and the other guy's a coach, in my opinion. I look at
you
Nick.
Really think Nick's a bookworm? I don't think he is.
Well, I think, because I think a lot of this has to do with analytics. I don't think
Yeah,
there's analytics on that side.
Well, we can discuss whether we think he's a competent or has a full
Then
whatever
why did he
head
flip
coach.
the script so much?
But like, dude, think if you look at like Nick's history, like he played college ball at Mount Union, like you know what I mean? Like he's a football guy. He worked in D3. He worked in all his way up. Like he's a classic guy who held on to the playing dream as long as he could, played his D3 ball, became a coach immediately. Like, dude, he's not Kevin Petullo. You could make an argument. I don't know Kevin Petullo's background as well, but
I feel like I'm in a nerd factory every time I watch your offense.
well, because we got Julian Lurie and Jeffrey Lurie, dude, they're nerds. But the nerds sometimes are right.
They are right. They go
All right.
19-1.
Sometimes the fucking nerds are right. I don't know what to make of it. I hope
Dude,
it
the
keeps
nerds
working.
are right. They're 19-1. It's fucking dude. They're so
Dude,
good.
I hope it keeps working. I'll tell you what. I know sometimes
They're so good a team. They're so
dude,
good.
I love this Eagles team. Is such a fun team, man.
It
I seriously am enjoying this Eagles era of football right now. Like it just feels like no matter what, they figure out a way to win.
So good.
No, that's a business perspective thought, but I'm strictly talking about like just being a fan of the Eagles and just enjoying the football games. I mean, I know people don't have their issues with Jalen Hurts or whatever. They think he's limited in certain regards, but there's only one player that has the most amount of impact. And I know wins and losses is a team stat. Yes, it is. It's a team game. But the number one player in every team that has the most impact on that statistic is the quarterback. And when you win as much as they have, I'm giving him credit for that. And he seemingly, no matter what it is, if you're asking him to run, he runs and gets the win. If you're asking him to suck and win, he sucks and wins. If you need him to throw and win, they do it yesterday. Like the dude just figures out a way, man. And I love this team. I think this team really has a great heart, they're really together. I think they got a good culture. I think Nick does deserve some credit for that. They do play for each other. That doesn't mean they don't have things to clean up, but I'm enjoying this era of Eagles football. That's for sure.
Okay, last one here. How do you think this Buck game works out this weekend? You're going down to Tampa. Both teams are 3-0. There's only 6 teams that are undefeated left in the NFL. 2 of them are playing. It's the game of the week. It's the early game of the year. I think whoever wins this football game, I think the Rams are in the conversation too. I like the Rams. I thought the Rams, again, they just got to not be so fucking conservative in moments. But I would say this. I mean, winner of this game this weekend, front runner for the NFC?
Well, I'm not going to give my prediction right today, but I will say I came out of the Rams game very confident. And I'm a believer in the Bucs right now.
2 quarters of football.
Relax.
Well, okay. Well, that's what it was.
Okay, fuck you. I got my own take. You got your own take. All right?
Okay.
Jeez.
All right.
But, yes, after 2 quarters. The Bucs team I'm a believer in, but they're banged up right now. And I don't know how they're gonna manage that. And I think Vic thrives when he knows what a quarterback is dealing with. Yesterday he got Stafford off his spot. I think he's gonna be able to mess Baker Mayfield up enough. I think we destroy the Bucs. I think we throttle them.
Baker moves around more than
10+.
Baker moves around. You haven't beaten anybody by. Oh wait, did you beat him by 10 this last weekend?
Who? The Rams? No, 33-26.
Okay. Yeah, Baker moves around more. Here's where and plus they're getting Tristan Wirfs and Godwin back, but that chronic hamstring injury that Mike Evans has, I don't think he's going, and it's not been reported yet. So I'll give you guys all some insight. Wirfs is going to go, and so is Godwin going to go. So they're going to go this weekend. Now,
wait, can I ask you on that?
Yeah.
I thought they put Wirfs on the list where you have to miss 4 games.
No, he wasn't. They're on the active roster.
Oh, they didn't put him on the PUP list or what's it called?
Nope.
I guess IR.
Yeah, they didn't put him on IR.
Okay.
They're still
I
on
didn't
the
know that. See, I thought Godwin and him were on the IR, so they were going to be out.
Nope.
So they're going to be back. That's a big addition. Now, again, you said it already. Doesn't mean they're going to be in game shape, but still getting them back is better than the
It
alternative.
makes their offensive line a little bit more complete. And I'll tell you this. I don't think anybody for the first 3 games has played any better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. Last 3 games that they've played, they've had a game-winning drive, and he's won those games. But I will say this. You got to put everything in context like I do with the Eagles. Jets, Texans, and who'd they play in the opener? Atlanta. Not world beaters. So you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
going to put that in.
You know who the highest graded quarterback right now in football in both passing and overall offense is through first 3 weeks?
No.
Sam Darnold.
With Seattle? Holy cow.
They're 3-0.
Wow. Sam Darnold is following up what he did in Minnesota. Where's Mayfield on that list?
He's pretty low.
Okay. Where's Hurts?
No, Seattle's 2-1. Excuse me. They're 2-1. Hurts is 11. Mayfield is 15 in total offense. In passing, Hurts is a little lower. He is 29 in passing, as we talked about already. And Baker is 19th.
Yeah.
Total offense, though, number 1 is Darnold. 2 is Prescott. 3 is Stafford.
Wow. So
And
wait a minute. You beat a really good quarterback.
Sam Darnold's playing well.
No, you beat a really good quarterback in Stafford then.
Yeah, he's third in
having
offense.
a good year
and
this year.
Yep.
That's a really good takeaway from that.
Yeah.
So you think you killed the Bucks this weekend?
I got you guys. Seahawks are 2-1. My bad. Yeah, I think we beat the Bucks up. I think it's time to get right with that team. I think they get every single time the Eagles have something that gets them, they always seem to correct it. And
Better run the ball against them.
This week is the week to correct on the Bucks. I think it's time to slap them so bad that people never say there are kryptonite again. I don't ever want to hear that bullshit again. Let's go. Let's take their soul out, take their heart out, destroy them any way possible. And I think they're going to be able to do it this week. I think they're coming on. I think they got confidence, got confidence coming into the game. My question would be, don't fall into your shell. You're too good for that.
There's fourth in run defense.
Bucks are?
Yeah.
Wow, go to run defense, right? Well, they got Vita Vea. I mean, they got good guys.
No, they did lose Kalijah Cansey.
I know. That's a big loss, too.
It's a huge loss.
Yeah, that's a big loss.
Because that's their 3 technique.
Yeah. All right, brother. Good stuff, man. I know you got to wrap
absolutely, dude. I appreciate it, my friend.
All right, so it's a good show.
I got to pay some bills here, and then we'll take a small time out.
You want to just do a short one and wrap it
I'll
up?
do a short one. I'll do a short one.
Short one, wrap it up. All right, good stuff.
You got it, my friend. Great stuff. We'll catch you in the morning, Z. All right, folks, do me a favor, guys. My number one thing that we love, I talked to John Morgan throughout the entire weekend because my Canes took care of those Gators and just beat the pants off those guys. And I was so glad, and he was very upset. And he was telling me, going like, hey, man, we got to get a new coach and we got to get a new quarterback in there. And I'm like, you bet, man. And we're so proud to have Morgan & Morgan part of the program, the number one injury law firm in all of the world, not just America. And the number one reason is because they win cases. That's right. Thousands of attorneys from coast to coast, making sure your families are taken care of and represented fairly against companies who try to come in and, again, undercut you sometimes with these settlements. Not with Morgan & Morgan. Do me a favor, please. Go to forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sills sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES, Eagles.
We are fortunate. We're going to get Tony Dungy on the afternoon show and the morning show on Tampa. That's going to be this week. Tomorrow, I think it's the radio show. And then Wednesday, I believe, Coach Dungy, he's going to come on and talk a little Bucks football, a little Jalen Hurts football. Obviously, he works for Sunday night football with NBC. So we will talk to him about the Eagles and the Buccaneers matchup this weekend. It's a Fox game. It's the best game of the weekend for sure. Guys, we really appreciate it. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Big Z, Xander, thank you. 2 to 6 tomorrow, and we'll see you on the flip side.